I'm in Max. You are listening to Happy Jack's RPG Podcast. I'm in Max. Pursuing the RPG hobby with reckless abandon. I'm in Max. You are listening to Happy Jack's RPG Podcast. I'm in Max. Pursuing the RPG hobby with reckless abandon.
Welcome to Happy Jack's RPG Podcast. My name is Gina.
I'm not seeing anything, but okay.
Transition anywhere.
There's a delay.
There is a delay.
There's a delay.
Dave, who are you?
I'm
magic.
Dave!
I put the duh.
I got distracted by Stork.
I did.
Yeah.
I do.
See?
I'm distracting.
See? Look.
I know. I
There's
put the
bright
duh
pink Tim.
in delay.
We're professionals.
We're missing Stu. We're missing
Yeah.
our spirit animal.
Yeah.
Well,
still
Stu
has
and
his
He
Kimmy.
still says who he is.
My
Yeah, nobody knows.
Patronus.
It's right there. It says right here. Stork.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the podcast.
Yeah, hold it.
It really says
Okay.
this.
It does.
Where you're.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to just ignore him? Or are you gonna...
Hi, I'm here for Tim's soul.
Oh. That was unexpected.
That was unexpected. You wanted the best, and you've got it. The hottest band in the land, Proby Tim. That didn't work.
One step beyond.
It was supposed to be a kiss thing. You know,
Yeah.
kiss at the beginning.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Did you lick your finger?
No, I didn't.
Okay, next
Yeah.
time do that because it goes in easy.
Okay.
It wasn't a wet willy. It was just a willy.
It was just a willy.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
I like your angry face, and then the angry face fails when the finger comes in. It was very good.
In the show, James writes in about two GMs
Two
sharing.
GMs. Thank you, Dave.
One
Two
cup.
GMs,
Yeah.
one. No.
I'm glad I could
No.
No.
Two GMs, one die.
Fill
that
in
you?
the noun.
Oh no.
Two GMs, one world.
Share one world,
Mm.
not one cup, and not any other sort of thing.
Yeah.
Ben from Texas sends a defense of GMPCs. James from Ottawa sends a tale of betrayal.
Dun dun dun.
Yep. And Kylie sends a too long story about gaming table discomfort. Maybe a horror story. Yeah, we'll have
Yeah,
to see.
table discomfort
I'm
often.
excited to see what kind of discomfort.
I
Yeah,
know.
we got a lot of
'cause
double entendres, and we're only in the first 2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes. That's longer than we
So
usually
if
go.
you want to send an email, send it to happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. We're also on the social medias.
That's right.
Tim's got that.
Oh, I've got that. If you want to reach us on Twitter, it's HappyJacksRPG. If you'd like to reach us on Instagram, it is also HappyJacksRPG.
All one word.
All one word.
You'd
If you'd like to find us on Facebook, it's probably Happy Jacks RPG, but you can search for Happy Jacks RPG.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to watch the live show, you can find out how at happyjacks.org/live or happyjacks.org/Twitch or happyjacks.org/YouTube.
And if you'd like to meet us on social media, socialist media, you can go to oneping.org.
That would be an amazing. Oh my God, Stork. Why do you break that out when we're on the internet live? Damn it. Now I can't register it in time. Someone else will have done it.
No, because you can do one ping only. Oops.
One thing only. Good job.
It's just an endless refresh loop. Oneping.org.
Social. It's
Switches to
socialist-
onepingonly.org.
It's
brings you
socialist
back to
media.
One Ping.
Yeah, I wonder,
Yes.
maybe we can do that while we're casting, because that'd be awesome. That'd be-
Socialist media. There you go.
Oh
And
my
let us-
goodness
Let us
gracious!
do know how slick this was.
I know this was smooth as butter.
Yeah,
It
Hold
never.
up, baby.
Like
you
Actually,
know,
it was. It
Whenever
actually
you
was.
throw me in here, it's
it
never
was
smooth.
super awesome.
That's right. Yeah, it's okay.
I'm like sandpaper.
So we want to talk a little bit about, because we had a con this
We
last
had a
weekend.
con. That's right.
And we also had at least one game, Happy Jacks AP being played. So does anybody want to talk?
Oh,
Tim?
yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, want to talk about your con game?
What'd you play this week?
When you played just the con, I ran.
It's not
Just
just.
the con.
Well, I mean, just as in, I only went to con. I didn't play any other games like
That-
during the week.
How many games did you play at con?
One. And
Okay.
I ran one.
Okay, that's a lot.
So mention
So
them.
keep talking.
I ran my armor game, which is my take on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is run in Swords and Wizardry,
What's armor stand for?
the Agency for Response and Management of Obscure Resources.
Nice. Very
Thank
good.
you.
Good job.
Thank you. And then I played
Armoire.
in Dave.
Armour.
Or a more.
That's the bard version where they're just it's amore.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's when it's
That's
When
a
the
more.
moon gets
yeah,
your
that's-
eyes.
Keep up.
Yeah.
that's the French chapter. is Amore.
It's all full of Dean Martin.
Flying Jackalope was there.
Flying Jackalope was there.
Oh.
What, for my game?
Yeah.
He just said I was there.
He played
Oh,
in that,
nice.
apparently.
Oh, awesome! Yay! Yay for you.
And I saw the by the way, for those of you watching, you should also go check out. There was a little mini podcast, but I heard you talking a bit about it. And how did you
Yeah.
now that you've decompressed? How do you think it went? You got any feedback for yourself?
Okay, so I think it went pretty well. I woke up in the morning and I was not feeling it at all. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh man,
I get it.
I gotta go to con. I'm gonna run this game. I don't want to. I registered the game late. I had no pre-registrations, and I was thinking, I hope no one shows up for it, because then I could just go sit in a corner or hit the dealer's room or something like that,
Kick a rock.
kick a rock,
Yeah.
go eat
That's
or
all you
whatever.
can do because the bar doesn't open. Although they started opening it earlier, but still,
There was no
It's
bar.
still like 3, man.
I know.
It's not.
I know.
Even people that don't go to this con know what time the bar opens.
Right?
Yeah.
But I had 3 people show up, and I think it went really well. I made a classic GM blunder in that
You got involved in a land war in Asia.
I totally did.
Never getting involved.
And also, I had a clue that they had to get, and it was in one spot,
Oh.
and they didn't do that.
They didn't go to that spot.
They didn't go to that spot, so I pulled a classic Happy Jacks, and I said, wow, I've been drinking water all day, so let's take a real quick bio break, and sat in the bathroom for a couple minutes going, what the fuck do I do now? Holy hell.
I applaud that, sir. I
Thank you.
applaud that.
Thank you. But I got it figured out. It messed up the timing a little bit in that at noon we got to a point where they got the clue, and if we would have continued, it would have gone to like 1:30 or 1:45.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, we can continue. Awesome. But it'll go until about this time. Or we can end it here. You guys have successfully actually gotten to the achievement they were supposed to do. They were supposed to transfer some materials to a research center, and they did that.
Yes.
They said, or we can end here, and you guys won, or we can finish out this bit, and they opted to end it there because they had a game of 2.
Right.
And they had to get
Yeah.
lunch.
And that's,
Yeah.
and that's seriously, I mean, that's awesome. You gave them that option because that's the thing. I was in a game and the guy didn't even care. He just started running along, and it's like and you were
Right.
like, I got other.
I
things.
feel
Yeah,
terrible if my game goes like 10 minutes
I agree.
over.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
because you've only got an hour between them.
Yeah, and it takes an hour to wait in
noon
line.
is
for
solid.
food.
You started at 9, right? 9,
Yeah.
9:10.
We
yeah,
went from
no,
9
I think
to
3
12.
hours is
Yeah.
awesome.
And even
Right.
Yeah.
ending a little early, I think, is
Yep.
Yeah.
good because it's an intense
Yeah.
3.5, 4
Yeah.
hours that you're giving these people, and it's like even if you end it at a half an hour, 20 minutes, it's like here we're done, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, and I think everybody's relieved. Now they can
Yeah.
go pee, they can eat,
Yeah.
they can call, they can all of that stuff. I think it's really important more than almost anything else.
Yeah.
If you have to. Once they get the MacGuffin, all right, and you guys you make your way back out of the dungeon, you go to the town, you guys are all heroes, you right there you go.
Here's
and
your
you
goal,
can just
awesome,
done,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I think it went really, really well. The players all seemed to love it. One of them came to the
Got good feedback.
Came to the podcast, gave really good feedback.
That's great.
And I was real happy with
Yeah.
it.
Cool.
I mean, it sounds like you may have made new fans of the show
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of how you represented it.
Well,
and I think
the one guy, and I can't remember their names, and I didn't write it
Jeff?
in my notes here. No, but Frank, I think, was one of them. Frank, I think, and Frank was the one.
He is a listener already.
Yeah, he was a listener already.
oh, so you didn't ruin the reputation; you
I
just
didn't-
maintained
yeah,
it.
yeah, I just maintained
Oh,
our
okay. Well, that's still
reputation.
good.
That we
That's
know
fine.
of.
Yeah.
He managed to prop up the bridge just long enough.
That's right. Get the cars.
Yeah.
over.
Listen, at my age, maintaining anything that long is actually a really good thing.
2 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, right there with you.
Right,
I
right,
think.
yeah.
But if you go over 4 hours, you
Right.
should call the
You should
doctor.
call the doctor.
Right.
Yeah.
Always end on time.
I'm taking pictures and
Sorry,
calling all my
James.
friends. That's what I'm doing.
Wow. And
Don't
then
call me.
Oh, that
Don't ever call
explains.
me.
That explains that text.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I
and
just
then
thought it was a
played
redwood.
and then I played in. Shut up! I'm talking now.
Yeah.
And then I played in Dave Kazay's competitive cool truck. Stop that! I'm ticklish, fucker.
But now you've let the whole world
I know.
know.
You're great. Now,
Never
Everyone can see
admit.
the bromance in action now.
Never
So
put
if you're listening to this
weakness on the front
podcast-
page
no,
when
no,
he's
no,
around.
I know.
Just
So
check
then-
back in to the video.
So you know what's going to happen? All shown and going. And then I went, but then I played in Dave Kazay's
because Rob can't keep his hands
competitive
off
rule
himself.
truck game. which
Okay,
is
that sounds like
Oh,
the
yeah.
best idea ever.
It was
So much
very
fun.
fun. He was playtesting it, so there were a few little like
Right, because it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that one of his extension goals for his Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bedlam Hall. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Bedlam Hall.
And we got to play test it. It was crazy fun, and it's really fast paced. I don't want to go into a lot of detail because it's play test and not
You
officially
could,
out
and
yet,
you can look
but-
it up on his Kickstarter
Yeah.
thing. I think he has a little summary of a little paragraph. It's pretty cool.
But basically, you're people working in a food truck in Middle Earth.
Yeah, it's great. A food cart.
Food cart.
A food cart, yeah. And you try to get more tips than the other trucks, while
Should be
Were you in
simultaneously.
a truck full of orcs? I heard
No,
there
no,
was a
no,
truck full of
no.
orcs.
There was
That'd be awesome.
there was 3
Yeah.
trucks. There was
Yeah.
it was me
I
and
still
and-
say that our truck name was the best truck name been in that game so far.
What was your truck name?
Frisengard,
we were
right?
the Rohirrim Rotisserie,
Oh, see, that's cute.
and it was me and Kimmy
You didn't
and
have a big giant ore tank that you cranked up on top of the truck when you parked?
it was
Started
me.
belching black smoke everywhere?
It was me and Kimmy and Jim Sandoval and a guy who I don't remember his name. I'm horrible with names.
Well, yeah, I was going to say.
And we were a thief and an elf and a barbarian and a dwarf. And then there was a truck of all orcs. And we just beat the crap out of each other the whole time while this third truck, which had 4 people that I don't know what they were, just sat over there quiet and just did their thing and then won the game. Because we were just sitting here beating
Oh,
the
so
crap out of
wait.
each other.
So it's a good economic policy to stay out of war.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Just to be quiet, mind your own business, and
Yeah. Except for the Great Depression.
Tell me though that Frisengard at least used barbecue with all the trees.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
right.
Well, that
yeah.
was the whole thing.
It was smoked.
Yeah, I was all smoked.
Yeah.
Take
Well, it
them
was
down. Take
like,
them all down.
what was our motto? Our motto was
them down.
open all night and it's always night.
I think you have a lot to say about this one, didn't you? You were
Oh, it was
driving
so much
force.
fun.
it
was so
is
good.
really, really fun.
Yeah, it was me and Bill and Kurt Hannah.
Oh my God!
And
you guys lost?
Kevin. We did lose, but only because we were just playing to have a hilarious time.
yeah.
Fries.
And and then like Bill typed up on his iPad like a whole menu board.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
And it was
I'm
so
surprised
good.
he didn't buy like a wide erase and just roll it out like.
Well, and then it was everybody was an orc in the truck except for me. I was the halfling that worked the window.
Oh, okay.
Because
you actually know how to
Because-
do math.
No, because the truck was like too scary at first, and they weren't getting any customers. So they're like, "We just got this guy. He's like our mascot."
We were going to cook him,
cute.
but we can use him to
That's right. He's only an appetizer.
Yeah.
But it's a really fun game. I mean, it's a
It was
really,
really-
really fun
yeah.
game. He's like I said, he's still working
Yeah.
out some minor rule tweaks.
Mhm.
But it was a lot of fun. I
And it
enjoyed
was a
it.
great, almost GM-less style party game.
Yeah.
Like
Pretty much the GM just hands out cards and then at the end says,
Like kind of
okay,
refereeing.
this truck ran into this one and shit happened and everything
Yeah.
went bad. You ready for your next, order?
So awesome.
So, at one point, I knew we were losing, and I was like, I have a desperate plan. So, I'm going to jump out of the truck and pull this giant shovel off the back. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just start digging a hole. Right? And he's like, okay.
Okay, what's
and
going on here?
Like 3 times around, he's like, what are you doing? I'm still fucking digging the hole. And then eventually he's like, okay, man, you got to tell me why are you digging the hole?
I can
And
totally
was
see
like,
Dave because he's
Yeah,
all
'cause he
curious
wants to
now,
know.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing,
Yeah,
man?
yeah.
And he's a control freak.
And I go, well, I'm trying to dig this hole as greedily as I can. And he's like, I got this. And apparently in the prior game that I had no knowledge of, at one point, one of the trucks summoned the Balrog. And that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
But in that previous game, the Balrog showed up and he decided to make the Balrog kosher. So the Balrog showed up and was like he showed up for me. He was super pissed at this other guy in the other truck because he had been in that previous game because they didn't give him a kosher meal. And he's like, the first thing Dave does is leap up on a chair and goes, "That wasn't kosher." It was good.
What do you do with a summoned Balrog? Was that just for advertising
Well,
sake, or
no,
did you
my
eat him?
idea was to have him show up and run the barbecue
Oh, right,
pit
of
outside.
course. Right, of course.
Because
Right,
he's got
yeah.
the fire.
Yeah,
You can,
But yeah, you just
But because he was pissed at the other truck, he went on this rampage and started beating up the other truck.
That's
and I was
cool.
like, also okay.
That works.
On a different note,
Yeah.
I heard that someone ran their first con game at this con.
Oh, I did. Well,
Yes.
Yay.
let's clear something up.
All right.
Kind of.
It is not my first con game, nor my
No,
first
GMing
running.
con.
No.
Oh,
She used to do it a
that's,
lot.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the information we heard.
Yeah.
She was GMing con games before we were around.
Yeah.
We showed up after she had already
You can
quit.
ask Will
Megan.
Huggins.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think if there was anybody else because it was early days Happy Jacks.
It was my first con game. I think
Yeah.
it was the first time I met you, and it was you and Megan in Traveler, and I think you had
Yeah.
just quit
Yep.
the year before, or the con before.
No, that was probably the first con we ran
That
at.
was the Radisson Con.
Yeah.
You had run.
Oh, I
you were
like
running
that
a
one.
game
Yeah,
that
that
year.
was, yeah.
I ran at my third con, fourth con, and I had been running, although much different experience, but I've been running encounters for like 6-7 months
And
Yeah.
weekly.
Megan
Well,
won that Traveler game. By the
I
way, Megan, if you're
apologize.
listening anymore, where are you? Come back. We miss you.
I apologize.
No,
That's the information I was
it's funny
given.
because I've said it before, but it's like I don't know because I haven't lately. What
I
have you
listen
done
to
for
you,
us
Gina.
lately?
It's
Thank
been
you.
it's been like 9
yeah,
years.
cognitive.
Every opportunity
Something.
here.
Oh,
No, it's still like 7 years is like not running the game. I mean, and this Happy Jacks has been on air for
4
7
years.
years.
I think you almost play tested the
Look,
first
she's
con game I ran.
she's not yeah, okay.
Did I?
Yeah. Yeah. It was your Beba was born. Because I posted on the Happy Jacks community looking for play
Oh.
testers. But at any rate,
How did it
it
go?
had been a while.
Yeah.
So that was
Um,
6 years ago.
They went really well. They were kids games. I actually ended up running a second game that wasn't on the schedule because I had 4 kids. But it's a game that Hamish Cameron, who designed this sprawl, is working on a few other games, and one of them is this kids game called Dinosaur Princesses.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
It is totally awesome, and it's an awesome name. And I had a bunch of adults sign up too because they just thought, Dinosaur
That's awesome.
Princesses.
Yeah,
But he's actually never been able to run it for kids. He's run it at like some gaming cons and a designer con and stuff like that. But so it was fun to run for kids. It went really well. I definitely did because they are still. It's I guess beta, but just really basic kind of Word document that I was running off of. So kind of tweaked some stuff for me for the table. And honestly, kind of based on the behavior of the kids I had in the first game, the little girl I had in my first game in particular, who I'm guessing was about 9 because I forgot to ask, but had never played a role-playing game before. And you could tell, like, kind of shy initially sitting down, but then became more and more confident. And obviously the adults that were playing with her too were super supportive. And it was just really...
If they lead by example, they're like, oh, so we can do that? We
It
just
was-
say what we
yeah.
want to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause they don't
No,
know.
it was so cool. The second game I ran for 4 kids, 3 boys age 11,
Oh, boy.
a
God.
girl
Wow.
age 8,
Oh, boy.
and I don't have kids.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God.
I hope-
How do people do this?
How did she interact with the 3 boys?
She ended up being a little quieter than I would have thought she was, because she actually had one of her friends who is another 11. It was like my fire and ice table.
Yeah.
I had 2 commando princesses. They didn't say they were, but they were. The one like immediately grabbed my camouflage dice. I'm like, they're not camouflage dice, but that's cool.
Yeah.
And then I had the 2 like quiet, contemplative little artists on the other end. But it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it went really well. I had a blast. It was fun trying to... I thought about it afterwards because holy crap, I was spent.
Yeah,
like-
isn't it exhausting?
Oh my God, yeah. And it wasn't
Dave and I
just...
do it together, and we leave, and we're like, oh, my God.
I swear to God, no, because even jamming adult games, but this was like that whole working to find the balance between the shy, quiet kids and making sure they were playing as much as they wanted, because they don't necessarily want tons of spotlight if that's not their thing. But then the really adventurous,
Go-getters.
engaged, commando. Okay, so first there was the commando dice, and then they get these little character sheets that have kind of coloring book dinosaurs on them.
What?
That I made.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a
Thunder.
thing? Oh.
And I don't know what it was coming from. I was looking at
know.
everybody and
What's-
like, I don't
what?
know.
It's probably
It was
just my
something like
stomach.
microphone
thunder.
thunder.
It's my stomach rumbling.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm hungry.
There
Just
you go.
kidding.
I just moved.
But they're little blank dinosaurs, and then at some point as they build their princesses, is it me? I'm not touching it.
No, it's not.
I'm
Carry on.
touching
No,
it.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I was
okay.
trying to keep this subtle. I was looking at Dave.
Yeah.
Dave was looking at me.
No, that's
I
okay,
was
in case
looking
it's
around
me.
to see if I could see somebody doing
We don't mean to
something.
interrupt you,
It could've been
Gina.
me.
You're in
Keep
midstream.
going,
Go,
keep
go.
going.
Oh, just okay, so first camo dice, then they both wanted the T-Rex. That was my number 2. Okay, I can see where this is going. So 2 T-Rexes on the one, and then the one immediately starts drawing flamethrower hands on his T-Rex.
Like you do.
Awesome.
Like
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
And so I had a flamethrower. He was covered in fire. He breathes fire, eats fire, is fire. One of his prince strengths was deadly, which actually never came up in the game. Go figure.
Yeah.
So, and this is a unique system in and of itself.
Yeah, so it is, and they get dice to represent strengths for being a dinosaur and being a princess, and then each character gets to take the lead in solving a problem that has entered their community, which is via me.
So a dinosaur walked into their village. What do you do? And it's your turn. Is that how that works? Okay.
Yeah, no, it's like we create their dinosaurs, and then they kind of get to create their corner of the world, which I literally had them do on a map.
Oh, that's cool.
So they're instead of a name tent, they're putting their name, and then they're drawing stuff that is important to their PC.
So now they're drawing and busy working on their map.
and
while
then
other
we
people
draw
have
the
turns. That's
world.
smart.
So then and I'm trying to let them know there can be anything they want in this world.
Mm-hmm.
If they want Jurassic Park the world, we can make it Jurassic Park. But we had a wizard living in a cave outside of town. And
Wizard living in a cave,
Yeah.
not a tower.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
Cave.
No,
gorgeous,
wizards belong in caves.
Waterfall
Fact.
outside of town, and then this kid, one of the quiet dudes, made a dice tower with his, those fidget things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So he had a dice tower with the fidget thing spinning on top, and I'm like, that should be a thing.
that
It
should
looks
be your
like.
wizard tower. Yeah.
So he draws on the map this like Hella tower, like in our little community that actually ended up being an integral part of the game, where
that's
it's kind of
awesome.
saved there. Yeah,
That's
really
awesome.
smart.
You know what it
it
kind
was
of
so
reminds me of?
cool.
That whole thing you've put together there? It reminds me of the Tappy I Forgot My Character Sheets game.
Oh, no.
I bet.
Remember how they were just like throwing everything in?
But when kids are doing it,
Yeah.
it's cute and fun.
Of course,
Yeah, and they probably weren't high.
They weren't probably eating mushrooms.
And I also give you high marks because you were looking at what they were doing. You were being very aware and trying to integrate everything.
Well, thank you, because it was easy to involve kids who were super engaged and were like, I want to do all the things, and I can picture doing all the things, but
let me tell you,
cool
it's more depressing with adults when they're not engaged and you're trying to get them going. It's, there's nothing worse. You suddenly feel like you have failed.
That's kind of what I realized after the game. After I had time to think about it more, I'm like, it is no different, other than kids don't necessarily have the social skills yet, where when you kind of try to say,
you know what though, a lot of the grown-ups in these games don't either.
No, it's true. Where you go, hey, it's Nova's turn.
Yeah.
You know, let's let Nova tell us what's going to happen in this step, and then we'll talk about how we're going to help her, instead of like,
talking over.
No, they were awesome. They were just they were awesome kids.
Sounds like a great starter game for you coming back into GMing too.
Yeah, no, I got excited, and I want to run more. I would love to run more games for kids, but I would also like to just.
So we can make a note of this, and we'll put the name of the show notes for the link to that game, because it sounds really interesting, and it sounds like
it's actually not available yet, but he's gonna Kickstarter it at some point. But
okay. And what's it called again?
Dinosaur Princesses.
Dinosaur Princesses. All right. So
look
for that Kickstarter.
Cleared that up right away too, because princesses can be any gender.
Sure.
And we also no problem.
Like Tim.
No problem saying dinosaur prince if we needed
It could be dinosaur snowflakes.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I heard that they're playing at Coachella this year too. Dinosaur Princesses.
Dinosaur Princesses.
Yeah.
Are you going to take the dinosaur train?
And I played.
Man, that music on that song gets in your brain.
Yeah, it does.
You and your one game.
You played 5 games?
I played 5 games.
Well, I was only there on Saturday.
Crap.
That's true. What was?
You were there.
Pony up.
You were there.
I was there for the whole weekend.
You're still there, I think, right now. You're still playing games.
I know. I'm waiting for next con. But yeah, no, I played GURPS with Mook. Fantastic Aliens game.
You can't do that because you know him and you play game with him
It
all
is,
the
but I
time.
don't get to play with him anymore.
All
So, and he runs 3 games. So.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I played. Fantastic! It's like the 3rd time I've played it. It's a game that is also going to be Kickstartered, is not available yet, but called Atlas Reckoning, which is about.
It's a cool title.
It's like Pacific Rim-ish.
Oh,
so
cool.
it's like you're
title,
in giant mechs.
Yeah, nice.
And you fight behemoths, and then there's for those of you who have played Night Witches, there's kind of this, combat time versus downtime. It's a lot of fun. And cards, no dice. But completely brilliant card mechanic.
That seems to be a subtle trend that's going on lately, is all the card stuff as opposed to using cards as the randomizer instead of the dice.
You can buy collectible card decks.
No, it has to be dice.
Oh, he buys a lot of decks.
Technically, it could be a GM-less
Only
game,
yours.
but we said that we would have a hard time doing that with that game. So.
What's the game that stood out in your memory the most?
I played Warhammer Fantasy RPG for the first time.
I'm so jealous.
I wanna
actually,
play
you know what?
that.
I
And I
asked
played my
Kimmy to
first
ask
dwarf.
you this, and you were
Yeah.
like over the moon about the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the podcast, I was giving notes to Kimmy, and she asked you which one, and it was Warhammer, and I was shocked, mind you, that you liked it so much.
I love Warhammer so hard.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's
I love it.
It's very popular.
The setting is
It's
rad.
yeah, it is.
Well, can't you just port it to Savage Worlds or GURPS and run it there?
Okay, yes, you could. However,
It's all fluff.
well, not entirely, because one of the defining characteristics of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is this awesome career system that they have, where you start out as like a rat catcher, and you graduate through different careers up to where you're like, what's one of the real like high-end troll hunter or something? Yeah,
Still a rat catcher, it's just a bigger rat.
Right, but that
Fair.
career
It's like
system,
EverQuest.
that career system is built into the game, and it's almost like traveler character creation.
Oh, it totally
it's like,
is.
It's like
there
that.
were only 3 things that you picked on your character sheet. You could pick your race, male or female, and your name. Well, and you could pick your look. But like everything else got rolled for.
Yeah.
Yep.
And once
No,
you had
what
your
I
race,
meant was
yeah.
what I meant was that career system is an identity for Warhammer, the same way that traveler character creation is an identity for
How
Traveler.
much role playing is involved? Because is that just in between miniature games? In between?
No,
No.
it's a role playing
No,
game.
it's
It's
not.
like
Yeah.
D&D.
It's a separate,
There's-
because there's the
It was
tabletop
not
game.
yeah.
You've got
It's a percentile. So like Cthulhu there.
you've got Warhammer, Fantasy Battles,
Mm-hmm.
which is the miniature game, and that's just a skirmish game. And then you have Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, which is just a role-playing game in that same setting.
And they use a percentile dice mechanic?
Yeah, like you do in Cthulhu.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like
Cthulhu was D6.
Dark
Okay.
Heresy.
Yeah, or
yeah.
the Trader.
Or Rogue Trader.
Rogue Trader, yeah.
I want to
Oh,
play.
okay.
I want to play any
Alright,
one
so
of them.
That universe.
Okay, it's those guys. All right.
Those are the 40K. This is the fantasy.
But I would
Okay.
say after Saturday, after Warhammer, both the games I got to play on Sunday, I would have a hard time saying which one I liked better. It was Tales from the Loop, which is like
Yeah.
80s.
Dave's been-
Yeah,
Dave's
dude, that
been
was
So
really
we're
that's
playing like
good.
a mini
Advertising.
campaign where we pick it up at cons, but it's like Stranger Things, Goonies, E.T.
It's really cool. We've
It's
messed with
it's gorgeous book. And then I have not been a huge Supers player in the past, but we played Marvel Heroic, and it just like lit a fire
The new
under
one?
my
I
ass.
love playing superheroes.
The new one?
I love it.
Well, the one you can't get anymore.
The one from the 80s?
I don't think it's from the 80s. It's the most recent one, but you
Oh,
can't
okay.
get it. Yeah.
with
back-
with lots of
Cortex.
Cortex one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in the day, we played a lot of like first edition champions and stuff. It was just so cool that we had these long running, and then we had some homebrew
Gordon
games.
Burps, buddy.
But it
All
was
for you.
so cool to play a superhero.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was something about playing in an established like Marvel universe, but like there's so many different corners in that universe.
Yeah.
And I turned into like a 15-year-old boy where I talked about that game and my character in that game like for 3 days. Where I was like, oh my god, you guys, there was like Jane
I know.
Foster Thor,
I
and there
know.
was She-Hulk, and I was Kate Bishop Hawkeye, and so I'm totally the mundane with all like Vision and Thor. And
I tell you,
but it
there's
was
something about
frickin'
playing
rad.
superheroes. I
Yeah.
think it has to do with the fact that it takes place in your modern world. So
Yeah.
there's cell phones, there's school, there's businesses, there's ability, and you can even make it even more provincial, which is like it taking place in L.A. You're on Hollywood Boulevard, so all of a sudden now
Yeah.
you know where you are.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you got all this super stuff on top of it, which is
Yeah.
really cool because we all seen enough Marvel movies and we kind of know the tropes, and it's already there. You don't even need any prep. You're like,
Yep.
okay, I don't read comic books, but I actually know who the Vision is, and I know Asgard, and I know who Thor is now. I got all of this.
Yeah.
I know this now. It's already in us.
Well, and I liked that they were like the variants of the, so it's like
Hail
Miles, Spider-Man, and Jane Foster Thor,
Yeah.
and there's the adventure, I guess, or the is fan created called Council of Four, and it's pretty awesome. I'm
Thor
sure-
doesn't need a council.
Council of Four.
Oh, 4.
I don't know
Sorry.
why Council of Four, but
Sorry.
it is, and
I
it's
heard
awesome.
Thor.
I'd take a Council of Thor.
came up with a lot of comic book ideas, sort of through kernels and stuff that may have happened in Champions, may or may not have happened
That's
in Champions.
awesome.
And it was always unique to try to come up with a unique hero, because back in the day there was always
It's all
another hero,
tropes.
another villain,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
this stuff,
Yeah.
and instead of just being a Wolverine clone, what could you do to make it interesting? Or if you were going to be Silver Surfer, or if you're going to be a cosmic hero, what are you going to do? What makes it different? And that's what I always found to be really interesting, really fun,
Yeah.
is coming up with that power set and coming up with that arc and coming up with that character.
No, and I love how the character. I mean, once again, it's like Supers, and Supers bashing villains and stuff, but like it's all about the interplay between the characters too. So, yeah.
No, I would totally be like that. I would be that guy that's like, you cocknobbler,
Dave was referring to Tim, who left the audio on his phone.
like a probie.
Yeah, that's okay. Like, he's not in tech. He's not in IT. He
This
doesn't
is-
understand
yeah.
these things.
Suck it.
Doesn't understand what mute means.
Rob's you're ruthless,
yeah,
man. You're
yeah,
ruthless.
no.
Remind me not to make you angry.
But see, this isn't
Remind me
angry.
not to make you angrier.
This isn't angry, though.
You're just going to hear,
It's really not.
and he'll be going, ow.
That's
Will I?
That's
Yeah.
impish, Rob.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I will.
Impish. He is
Yeah.
impish.
No,
Did
it's
you guys
totally
have-
I would totally make in the Marvel game. I'd be like the Watcher, just to annoy the GM and be like, yeah, I
You
know everything's
can't
happening.
be the
Yeah,
Watcher.
yeah, the Oracle.
That's like,
can't-
no,
Yeah.
you can't play a watcher.
I'll just come visit, like just walk around behind
See,
everybody.
the
like,
problem is
"Hey,
you
what's going
can't
on?"
you can't name it the Watcher. You got to come up with something else. All right, I'm the voyeur. All right, we're ending this game right now.
It's this guy with a creepy, weird, giant baby head that just.
Okay, all right. You need to make it more down to earth. All right, I'm the peeping Tom. All right, we're done.
You
Hi,
were
my name's
playing
Tom.
us.
I peep.
Do you know who the Power Pack?
Yes.
Kilroy.
Yeah.
So we had the zombie Power Pack in our game.
Cool.
Yeah. No, it was like I didn't know who the Power
Jim
Pack
Brigham, and I
was.
think it was Louis Simonson originally wrote it. Oh, it's really good stuff.
They are
Sorry.
little kids. No,
Whoa.
that's okay.
That was a-
Yeah, look at you.
So
comic book nerd.
we're
I know.
35 minutes in, and we
I
still
know.
haven't gotten to the point what Dave played, and also
Yes.
why Stu's not here.
Yeah, Stu's not here because we're sitting here with patient 0,
Yeah.
Right?
Monday, some of you may have watched our Rift game, which was fun. Had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
But I apparently had just started to cough a little bit. And Stu has the immune system of a dead water buffalo. So he caught it and is feeling shitty.
He's actually quoted as saying he has the immune system of a 90-year-old AIDS patient.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
that's
was
not
his
good.
quote.
90-year-old?
That's his quote.
Whoa.
90.
It's
Which is
no
actually
bueno.
pretty good for an AIDS patient, I guess. But
If
that's
you-
his
well, it
quote.
depends on when
If
you
you
caught
don't
it.
like that quote,
That's
you
right.
can contact Stu. It's a
That's
long-standing
Stu
quote.
at happyjacks.org.
Yeah.
Or
One ping only.
Direct all complaints to the One Big Network.
Can't you yodel him on Moose or something like that?
Mastodon.
Mastodon, that's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, there's just so many good social networks that come up with on the show.
Socialist networks.
Yeah, but I like the idea of like a weird Swiss Canadian social network. It's like a yodeler and a moose.
Hey, send me a maple leaf, eh?
Some guy on a moose with one of those big flugel horns. It'd be good.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway,
So,
you-
Dave,
Did your
what did
game-
you do at the con?
Yeah.
At the con, I showed up and I drank and I sat in the audience for the podcast.
You played Gruul Track?
I did not.
No, he didn't.
Oh, you
He
didn't?
wasn't
I thought
there.
you
you
did.
played it before.
I
you played
played
it
Gruul
before.
Track at the previous
Oh,
con.
well, you're alive.
This con, all I did was show up to support the show.
You did the drive-by.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I
And,
could
and how
really
was
do.
that for you?
It's because
It was
his
great.
co-GM wasn't there.
Really, it was like a methadone visit. Like I stopped at the clinic just to get me through to September con. Yeah.
Which September con?
That's coming up now.
Well, I'm not committing you to anything, Mr. Schedule Conflicts.
September should be okay.
Well, should be
September
okay.
should be okay.
Should be okay.
So I think
You want to
it,
make the announcement?
it's fair to announce at this point that I don't think WWE the game is going to happen.
no.
We-
WWF.
WWF, that's right. It
Yeah.
was before it was World Wildlife Federation.
Right.
No, but long time ago, Dave and I announced we were going to do a WWF game because
remember that.
it existed and we were convinced, and we looked at that and it was just impossible for a con game because it's all about
This is coming from the
Doing
guys that ran
careers.
Top Secret.
yeah, it's all about doing your career, but like how you build up through different matches and grow and stuff. And we tried a couple different variations of, well, would this work? Could we just completely scrap the career thing and turn it into like a Saturday morning cartoon style thing and it just wasn't possible. So instead,
Well, then a friend of ours
That's right, a friend of
directed
ours.
you to the fact that this game existed.
yes,
And then as soon as you mentioned it, I was like, fuck yes, we got to make this happen.
yes.
And I went on eBay and I found a sealed from 1980 copy of
Oh.
Dallas, the role-playing game.
yes.
Now you get to roll to shoot JR.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Has anybody read the rules yet? Is it
Yes.
playable?
Begun to read the rules. It is playable, but absolutely not okay for our current social mindset.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You.
But we already bought hats.
I was going to
Yeah,
say
that's the
you,
important part.
you have to be.
Oh yeah. Oh, got
J.R.
him.
Ewing
Got
hats.
him.
Ready.
Already got him.
Oh,
So
awesome.
They're yeah.
if
they're
that
amazing.
fails, I think you guys need to run an Apocalypse World rollerball
All right.
because you guys both like the roller derby world. Well,
Eh,
you do.
I do.
He
Yeah.
knows it.
And-
that could
and
be
I
his
think
kind
I
of-
was.
Rollerball.
I did roller derby for a little bit.
And rollerball would
Isn't that
play
girls'
really
fault?
well into that. In fact, what would be really awesome is that you just get involved in the rollerball world and you
Yeah.
never actually play a game of rollerball.
Yeah, I'm down. I like that idea.
It's just a whole game about like people that go to watch a game.
No,
Yeah.
it's about people. It's like all the political
All the-
machinations
yeah,
yeah.
and the sports buying and
I
the
know, I'm trying to think if there was
assassinations.
ever
That's
and
right.
The,
Yeah.
and then the manipulative girlfriends and the yeah.
Well, there,
Yeah, it's like
there
soccer.
was
or
There had to be
roller
something
derby.
that was like.
there was X Crawl, which came out
Oh.
for a while back in like the D&D 3.0 D20 boom, and X Crawl was a competitive dungeon crawl game
Yeah.
where the premise behind it is that dungeon crawls are public sporting events, and so you form into teams to
try
go
and
through
get
these
through.
try and crawl through these dungeons. That's kind of close to
That's
WWF,
in,
I
it
guess.
was like
kind of.
2013 Free RPG Day. DCC had X Crawl in their free supplement.
Oh, really?
Holy
Yeah.
shit, Gina.
Yeah.
You just pulled back a free RPGJ from 2013. I don't remember what happened this morning.
Well, it's because the DCC Free RPG Day things are rad. and they got cool
Well,
art.
there is an Apocalypse World wrestling game
Yeah.
that exists
Actually,
Yeah.
it's like
that
2011.
could easily.
Yeah, but it's not WWF, and
Right,
it's
it
not
is not-
stupid or
Just-
old.
You know what?
That does not
Like
fit
us.
any of my criteria. Yeah.
Just grab like some LARP rules and run it as a LARP. Oh, wait, that already exists. The WWF. Sorry.
Oh wow, that was a long setup for a fucking stupid joke.
Like most of my jokes are. I mean,
No, one of them made me chuckle once.
a long time ago.
I'm sure.
I think we
Alright.
need to go into this
That-
before this
that
bromance goes
one
sour
time on
here.
Bandcamp.
At least you're still talking to each other.
Do the stew first. Do the first
Oh.
letter.
Do the stew first.
Yeah, do the stew first letter.
Do the first.
Do your
Like,
best.
do the
And now
first.
Hold
we
on.
go to Dave to read the
Do
first
the
email.
first.
Hold on.
This dude's best stew.
Wait,
So you have to cough loudly.
Try and push
Yeah.
the hair back as much as I can. I didn't bring the thing.
Dude, why you gotta be a dick?
Well, clearly he has a shaved head and I do not.
Just
He
keep
doesn't
going.
know he's bald,
I just
according to
think-
Rob. Shh, don't
I was gonna
tell
say the
him.
dead air is us mean mugging Dave and being like, I gobsmacked.
No, I
Yeah,
could've
I'm
brought-
gonna
I could've
gobsmack
brought-
the shit out of you.
I could have
Yeah.
brought my Mr. Clean outfit.
At least you stop wearing hats all the time.
Sit right there.
He does a good cowboy hat. Oh, me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Great. The featured email.
Or
Or
topic.
Stop that.
Eat a dick.
Jinx, neither one of you can talk until I say it's okay.
Suck it.
Nice. Yes.
Suck it, Trebek.
Put this train back on the rails.
Right
Two
where it
GMs.
doesn't belong.
I gotta do that better. I can do that better.
Trebek.
All right.
There you go.
Here we go. Two GMs, one world. Evening, Jackers. Earlier evening to you on the West Coast. I've been listening for something close to 4 years now, coinciding with my latest gaming group. I went to have beers and presumably be looked over to make sure I wasn't an actual murder hobo with the person running the group. He said to his candidates, "You will be expected to run games periodically." Wow. It's like an interview process
Yeah, it
to
was.
join a gaming group. That's awesome.
Here are your job responsibilities if you join this gaming group.
You will be required to lift boxes over 25 pounds. I, with memories of a decade-old Call of Cthulhu game that I tried to run and failed spectacularly, went home and started to look for new GM tips.
To be fair, when I first ran Call of Cthulhu, I didn't know how it was supposed to run or end. I mean, that's not intuitive
Yeah,
at all.
it's
I
not
mean,
a
you just don't know that.
easy step
now
into that.
you do, because it's. But when I ran it when it first came out, we were like, yeah, we're all going to play Indiana Jones and win, and we're like, no, but and there's this whole thing. We're like, how do you not? Yeah.
Had you read any Lovecraft before you started
We
playing?
did, but we didn't realize that we weren't the heroes. We weren't supposed to win. That even though it's in the game, it still didn't. It kind of went by us.
There's that role-playing
Yeah.
idea of like, we're going to defeat evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Call of Cthulhu.
Right. But we
Yeah.
were playing a lot of champions, so yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a shift from Champions to Cthulhu.
Right? I'm the strongest to... Oh, God, I
Oh,
can't
Lord.
lift anything.
Is that an antagonistic game? Like where an
Yeah.
antagonistic GM would succeed?
No.
No.
Because
Cthulhu?
if the GM just assaulted you with bad stuff, you would just go insane and be
Yeah.
done with the game like in
I
minutes.
thought you were talking about champions because that can be.
Well,
antagonistic.
yeah.
All right. Between Happy Jacks and Fear the Boot, I found the sort of informal conversational advice I was looking for.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of
Yeah.
informal, sort of conversational, sort of advice.
All of the above.
We're sorted.
I started by listening only to the ones marked with new or first-time GM advice, and then I went randomly into the archives.
Ooh, good luck.
Hour-long commutes across my East Coast state are made so much easier with you folks keeping me company.
Aw.
That's how I
Yay.
started.
Our group showrunner told me 2 weeks ago he's noticed that I'm playing a key player role, and the one that makes sure the other players stay engaged and have opportunities, facilitating in-character interactions, and otherwise prune the game into something more self-supporting ecosystem.
Wow, a self-supporting song. I'm
Wow.
gonna make a note of that. That's a good.
I just want a game with a showrunner.
Right?
Well, I just want a game with this like super professional game group.
Yeah.
Like the GM's
What
like,
the fuck? We're all
Not-
sitting
I know.
right here.
I was gonna say not a bunch of the douchers I play with.
Hello.
We're not professional Star
No.
Trek.
look, no one in this whole group has looked at me and gone, "Thank you for being a key player supporting the other
No.
people around
Well,
the table.
maybe if you start.
Right.
Normally we're going, hey, would you stop being a
Just
dick,
shut
man?
up. Just shut up.
I'm pretty sure the whole 2 days thing, we all, well, maybe at the time we were so
No.
shocked, nobody
No.
knew what to do.
No. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that this guy is, like, taking you aside and having a little conversation, like,
Yeah.
you're being a great player and helpful coaching, and then the whole interview period at the beginning
I
and
know,
the
I kinda
job
like that.
requirements. It's like this guy's like maybe it's a GM that's like an HR
No,
professional
Maybe.
I know
Yeah.
you're not done yet, but I've played with people like that.
that are just like super on it. That's
Like,
cool. Right?
I like that kind of feedback would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I would love that.
We all play our cards close to the vest, don't we? We're all like, I'm not telling you my motivations. I'm not telling you what I'm doing.
I
I'm not gonna. You
I
go
don't-
ahead and fail because I'm gonna take that
No,
from you.
it's not even
No.
that. It's more like the fact that this guy running this game group seems to be so on it that he's trying to encourage the players to
Yeah.
grow
Yeah,
in
I
the
would
right
Having
direction.
adult conversations
Yeah.
with them.
I would
Yeah.
disagree
Here it's the
with you,
positive.
too, about yourself, Stork, because I think, maybe we don't exhibit those qualities 24/7, but you are somebody who is absolutely, I've seen in games when you're playing, kind of willing to kind of pull somebody else in, or maybe point out that they could have some spotlight,
Correct.
or, yeah.
All right.
So I think that's just part of it.
Take the compliment.
Okay.
Yes.
Accept
It's
it.
I'm not good
true.
at that.
I know.
Okay, all right.
I can see it. Just,
Carry on, Dave.
I'm with
He
you.
just grumbles.
Yeah.
why is Stork turning red?
I know.
don't
That's
understand.
adorable.
No, it's totally the like
Hot in here.
don't fuck up my reputation of being the grumpy old bastard.
Right?
And these are 3 new players, 2
That's
of which
awesome.
are brand new, never roleplayed types we recruited out of the local board gaming cafe. So thank you guys for providing the tools and gaming advice that helped that happen.
No. He misspelled it. Good job. I'm glad it worked out. But it's thank you guys, you tools, for providing the gaming advice.
Yeah.
That's what it. Yeah, it was a
I was
typo.
almost trying to reverse the Nicole Kidman thing, the seal clap.
Yeah, she
I was
has
doing
this
a weird-
aggressive.
Well, she claimed that was some, I don't know, it was Golden Globes or something.
She
that
like
she had
wandered
some
up
giant,
and just started
but
talking.
it was
It's
like,
a shame because up till then I really liked her, and then I'm like, oh, she's batshit crazy like the rest of them. Oh, great.
Yeah, tiny hands.
very possible.
I'm sure she hadn't eaten in 3 days.
Whoa.
And probably had no water either.
Yeah, it's
It's-
Australians. They
Well,
don't get
no,
water.
it's the Oscars and
They
Grammys
have had
and
to
stuff, and
adapt
they just have to
genetically.
fit into dresses.
And she is only wafer thin.
Really unreasonable.
Hey, Plague Bear, coming out.
Big,
No, she got me with
bring
that.
out your dead.
Man, Stu cannot come in the studio for another month now
No,
because
I
he's
brought
popped in
Lysol.
it. Oh, that's right.
You're
Lysol.
happy.
Just spray Dave right now.
Just squirt in his mouth.
I'll give you a bottle cap and $1 later.
a bottle cap.
I can't finish reading this email. My eyes are burning.
Here, drink this. Drink this.
Anyhow, enough of that. Good. I'm glad. Move on past being complimentary because we can't take that.
Nope.
Right?
A question. A lot of your co-GMing advice is geared towards games that have 2 active GMs, such as one running combat while the other one runs the rest, or for large groups.
Right. That's kind of how we. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sort of. But our Cortex Plus Leverage Firefly game world is something we developed together, and we swap out GMs and PCs while continuing the larger meta plot. For example, I'm running this weekend, which means I've found a convenient excuse for my character to be unavailable, and his to be active. In the past, we've done this for one-shots, but he'd like to rotate more equally this time around. Do you have any experience with this, pitfalls, or tips?
Yes, I do have experience of this. We used to basically all take turns jamming in the same world, and what happened was, this is the pitfall, is that without unbeknownst to us, there was another guy who never GM'd. And so his character, it was a Champions game, his character got all this XP and got and elevated. And after a while we were like, why is the Patriot kicking everybody's ass? And we're all like figured it out. We're like, right, because I ran 2 games and you ran 2 games and he ran 3 games and he's been in all the games and oh yeah. So just make sure that division of labor is distributed and XP is carefully monitored because the people
would
that
also
don't
say
GM.
Toss XP to.
The GM's
Yeah,
character.
Yeah, but if you don't know that might is
Yeah.
you're going to miss that.
That's a good point.
Dare I say, are there any benefits other than reduction of GM burnout, a major thing, but one covered extensively in the RPG advice world? Dealing with PC absence or minimal presence of the gulp GMPC
Yeah.
is something else to deal with, but that's one that's been covered before.
And will be covered, foreshadowing,
Yeah.
later
Again
in this
tonight.
episode.
Let me just finish it, and then we'll
Yeah.
talk a little more.
Never finish.
Thanks and beers to all. JP, cyber everything on the forum and chat.
Hey, I've talked to that guy.
P.S. Why does my co-GM put a sex club in every campaign?
Well, why not?
Well,
Yeah.
You mean there are people that don't do that?
Yeah, there are.
You know, once
Oh.
you get hit by the sex club, you really you can't see straight.
But only
You're
if
all
it's
kinda
being
wet
wielded
and
by the
slimy.
sex dwarf.
well, just
Isn't it nice?
bam, ladies'
Yes.
store. Bam, guys' store. Bam, ladies' store.
Bam, non-binary story.
Oh, it's
So-
just a random roll every time.
I was
I never know what you're gonna
binary. I was told there would be no math. I showed up to the sex club. I didn't know. I was,
So kind of
There's math at
related,
the sex
kind of
club.
related
Yeah.
to this email. A buddy of mine a long time ago and I got together and we created a fantasy world from the scratch. From the scratch? From scratch.
just
From
keep going. No one
scratch.
noticed.
No one noticed. I noticed.
So
anyway,
you drew
so
a little pentagram on the ground.
Yeah, we
you
totally
summoned
did.
it,
Santos,
summoned it up, and he's like,
Santos.
what do you want? And you're like, we need
We
to
want
come
a
up with
fantasy world.
And you're like, I'm old scratch, fuck you.
yeah, pretty much.
I
So
got
no,
this
but-
fiddle.
But for a number of years, we both ran in this world. What we did is because
You've
it was
never
a whole.
run a day in your life. No, keep going. Sorry.
You're right, because I have a bicycle and I'm smart and I don't run. I get on a bicycle and go because it's more efficient.
Hey, guess what? I have a car.
Yeah.
I get in it, it takes place.
I agree. Anyway, it's totally different. So we developed this fantasy world, and we created all races, a whole 9 yards, and we put a lot of work into it. And we knew that we both wanted to run in it, and we didn't want to have these type of issues. So he picked out an area over here that was his area where he ran our group in games, and then I had an area over here where I ran a separate game. So it was the same world. Events that did happen over here could
Same
affect over
characters,
here.
though?
No, different characters.
Oh.
Different characters, same players?
Yeah.
Same players.
Yeah.
So you guys were like servers. And those were your zones that you controlled.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
We were like MMORPG.
If fuzzy
Yeah.
on
All
your
right.
tongue.
So the question that I have then is how if I'm in there and I know you're running and either for a variety of reasons, either your game sucks, I'm getting tired of what's going on, or I want to fuck with you, I want to say, I'm going to go to this other place. How did you guys deal with that in game?
Well, we didn't have any dicks in our game, so it never came up.
That's unfortunate.
I don't know. That's yeah. It actually
I
never
don't
came
know.
up because we never like that just never happened.
I think you
Okay.
could totally do that and not have to have different zones or different areas or different characters. I think you would, one of the things you said in your letter that you would potentially have is different jams have different styles. Oh, I don't need it to remember Sex Dwarf Club or whatever it was. I don't know what that is. Is that fireworks?
It's too
There's
intermittent
explosions outside.
to
I
Yeah.
be
think it's
gunshots.
the preface.
It's
it's-
fireworks. Just
It's
something.
fireworks.
Just
Yeah,
somebody's
it's
party or whatever.
foreshadowing to our Red Dawn game that's going to be coming this fall.
Oh, I
It's-
hope so. Is it?
I think it's the Russians, and they're outside, and there's tanks.
Parachuting in.
Because it sounds like little bombs. In the,
OnePingOnly.org.
I'm just saying. I might have an overactive imagination, but that's what it sounds like. But
Well-
different people have different styles.
Absolutely.
So
And even if you're in the same world, it's going to be a different game.
yeah, and it's like either you're going to, if it's a total sandbox where you're just going to throw environmental stuff or whatever political stuff at your characters as it comes up, and they're going to drive the story, but you're still going to potentially have to share meta plot that
Yeah.
people are going to have to know about but not act on.
You could easily do, and I keep thinking it's a superhero game because that's what I ran. Isn't that funny? But you could take a tip from the comic books, which is Green Arrow operated in Emerald City, and Superman was busy in
Metropolis.
and Batman was busy in
Gotham.
Gotham. Even though it's all the same world,
Yeah.
they
And-
very rarely interacted.
All based on the same city.
Right.
Arguably. Yeah.
Gotham was a lot moodier than.
In my head, Gotham was always New York and Chicago was always Metropolis.
It
See,
was.
but Metropolis was clearly designed to be New York City.
I think
1932 New York City.
Yeah.
He went over the Empire State Building.
Yeah. But like in my head, I don't know where this even came
See,
from.
I had it flipped, where Gotham was more Chicago, and Metropolis was more
Oh,
New
they
York
were
City.
both New York.
Because to me, like,
just different.
Well, and
names.
that's why Marvel Comics got so cool, is because all of a
Yeah.
sudden they were actually in New York, in
Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen, and there's
Yeah.
Daredevil
And
swimming
it's
around.
Marvel
You're like,
Comics,
oh
so
wow.
they're cool anyway.
Yeah, amen.
But the point being that you can
Sorry.
still take place in the same world and not have them really interact. And it's just take a tip
Yeah.
from the comic books. It's easy to do. There are different parts of the city, different cities even. I mean, all can happen.
well, I like the idea of, all right, look, I've got a meta plot that's going to go, or I've got a plot that's going to go 10 to 12 games, depending on what the players do. I want to run this section, and then you can take the next section. Like, to me, that is a much
That's
safer route,
much
because
easier.
Yeah.
that opens
Yeah.
it up for player dynamism, and the players can kind of control what you
Yeah,
were
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about and
yeah.
stuff, and it feels so much cleaner.
And I think if, as a GM, especially if you finish your plot, the next person can pick up without worrying too much.
Your cuteness
Yeah.
caused
And-
your
And
butt.
though I like meta plots and all, I think that's just confusing the matter. I think what you need to do is just
Butt
go
rush.
do your story arc and not worry too much about a meta plot.
Well-
I really don't think that's that important.
I mean, yeah, but I think there's a way you could do it. So, for instance, there's if say it's you and me, since Dave walked out of the room, if we're working together and we know, okay, eventually there's this sort of world changing thing that's kind of going on at a high level with some guy summoning undead dragons.
See?
Right.
Helicopters. I'm telling you.
Right
The
on.
invasion.
Yeah, well,
right
that's
on.
why we have the Russian
on.
hat in the back, just in case.
So, right, so we can
Comrades.
put around and say, comrades,
That's right.
we are on your side.
Yeah.
Socialist network.
So this was that one ping network.
Ping. Oh, what is your one ping name? But basically it's like, okay, during this section, all you have to do is is mention or tie in the fact that they found a bunch of undead dragons, and then the next section that you run, you're like, okay, there's hints of a necromancer working around, right? And basically slowly piece it together.
No, I
totally.
completely understand how it can be done.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure I want to be saddled with all that homework.
I don't know that it has
Even
to
if
be
it's
a-
like one little thing here and there.
I don't think
Yeah,
it has to be a
okay.
ton of homework. I think of a couple things. One is Living Dungeon World that I played in at a con a few years ago, but they've done Living Dungeon Worlds at other cons where it's just a story that continues from game to game with different GMs. So I think that's possible.
It is the Russians.
I'm telling you.
Well, welcome to 5
it's-
minutes ago, Dave.
it's
Next time,
frickin'
don't take a
things are
piss.
different
That was
now.
not even 5 minutes ago, my friend, and I
Hey,
couldn't hear
Gina's
you.
talking.
Gina's
Come
talking.
on.
I'm
hello.
No,
sorry.
I'm distracted by the helicopters too and the tiny explosions. I'm telling you, we're close. We're close to the water. Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
It's true.
But no, so I think you could do it. I think the risk you have is if you do work to kind of set up things that the characters are putting out there,
Yeah.
and then you have to turn that over next game, it could be disappointing to you that it doesn't go the direction you anticipated somebody would take it, because everybody's going to
I have the
react differently.
and I think the players are going to ruin whatever the one GM set up and the other one's going to pick up. I have the perfect analogy,
Yeah.
which is years ago there was a book written or edited by Robert Aspirin called Thieves' World, and it turned into
Yeah.
a
Oh,
series.
yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, he committed. They as writers created a town, and each writer wrote about a different character that
Sanctuary.
all took place in this town. Right, and each adventure was unique from a different point of view, and it fleshed out the town. And it was a very popular series for a while. In fact, it even got turned into a role-playing game
Several
But you
times.
but you could easily do that kind of thing with your game, without it being an overarching meta. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, there was some politics and stuff that they maybe all agreed on. It was run by this guy. It was done with this. So the characters people might show up. Maybe at some point when you want to end the game, then you pull out a meta plot and say, the Count has been nefariously working with Jubal the entire time, and
Yeah.
you guys are all fucked. Whatever it is.
Okay.
But I think that you're doing yourself a disservice because you're going to be, if somebody advances a plot and they move it on to the next person, they're like, shit. All right, all the stuff I had set up is now broken, and now I gotta. And I think it's easier if you just concentrate on your story arc, rather than having to try to shoehorn it into this thing and handing it back and forth. It's not that
Okay.
it's impossible. I just
Okay.
think that you are giving yourself much more of a headache and probably in danger of railroading your players more than you really want to do, because you're dealing with basically two plots every time you run a game.
And Thieves' World had, I read an article about this, they had very specific rules amongst the authors. Like, you can't
Oh, I'm
kill
sure.
off another author's
Author's
character unless you guys talk about it and work it out ahead of
Right,
time.
right.
You know, you can do certain things with these characters. You can't like,
Yeah.
you know, if
And I think that's really important.
if it's proven that if you've said a number of times that your character doesn't like apples, don't have him sitting in your story chomping down an apple.
Eating
yeah.
apples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that's probably a better solution. And again, it's not that you can't work in a meta plot. I just think that it's hard enough to work on one.
It's basically it's a decision about what both GMs want. Like if both GMs want to start small, get used to it, get into a
But
rhythm,
again,
and then grow.
that only lasts until you drop the players into it, and now everybody's playing catch
No,
up.
no, 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 no. But
Absolutely,
yeah,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that if I start off as a GM and I want a full meta plot, am I spiking? If I want a full meta plot, then I'm not going to be satisfied with just doing individual little things,
Well,
right? And so it's up to the GMs to figure out what they want.
Here's the other problem:
Yeah.
the GMs are also playing the game,
Yeah.
and now they know
Yes.
the meta plot.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say you grow it a little bit at a time, where you figure out, okay, I need to get this one thing done to move it forward,
But
and
the
then they
GMs
can
may
build
know
off
that, but they were like, the other guys, they all fucking went, and what was I supposed to do? And it's like, okay, so now you're. I think you're setting yourself up for failure to try to do two with the meta plot. Maybe there's a through line. Maybe there's politics that are going on, irregardless of what the characters are doing.
Yeah.
Like there's a Star Destroyer or there's an evil planet, like a la Fifth Element, that's coming down to, and regardless of what the players are doing, it just moves a little bit closer, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
but I don't think you really want to involve yourself into two plots.
But
while
you
you're running a
you
game.
need to drop hints that the evil planet's coming
Yeah.
or that something's going on.
And that's fine.
Okay, that's what I was talking about.
No, that's what the meta plot is. Not
Yeah.
that you have to do all this planning or machinations. You just say there's this thing. There's a guy behind the scenes that is working to just destroy all the banks.
Well, we'll see how well it
Within-
survives.
Yeah, but
All
yeah.
I know is that my plot usually doesn't survive. Like
And
as
then
Jim is
things
well saying, it's-
reveal themselves
Yes.
as you play.
Yeah.
you seize on opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely true.
Yeah,
I do think it'd be challenging
Yeah.
to
I think
tap
it
every
would-
other game.
Yeah, I think.
Well,
really-
not every other game I think would be way too
Yeah,
tough.
I thought
you have
that's
to go.
what they're
You have to
kinda
go
talking
series, man.
Several sessions.
Yeah, like
yeah,
story
you have
arc.
to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Spit it out, Dave.
No, I'm trying to run through the scenario in my head, and I'm like, I try and be really good about metagame stuff.
Yeah.
But it happens.
But it happens, and like I don't know if I could turn off that part of my brain if I know parts of the other guy's plot.
The games I can
That's running the
think
game.
of, because there are games where they are designed to do that. Night Witches comes to mind, where we could sit down and decide. Say there could even be 5 of us, and then there's an NPC with one of us as a co-pilot. But say there's 6 of us, but the GMing rotates every time you run a mission. And so it's like your character could be, down in the hospital, or you're late for the mission, or you get grounded for some reason. So that I think in games like that, you can move in and out of the narrative a lot more easily than you maybe can in.
Yeah, but that's only in one game. This isn't like 2 or 3 sessions and then another person takes over and
No,
continues on.
yeah,
I mean,
no,
that's
there-
a
it is.
different
It
kind of
is
animal. With
like
Night
that.
Witches, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I've seen games where people change the narrative. But now it's your turn to tell us what happens. Now it's your turn. I thought it was that. Okay.
Yeah, no, you don't have to. It's just that it's designed so that you could, with fluidity, pull a pilot in and out of the narrative, so that the GMing can switch, so that everybody can play and everybody GMs, because you're all part of the same regiment,
Right.
so you can move in and out of the active narrative. So there are games that like that, and you still have character development and the story moves forward, but
Sure, but that's less of like somebody plotted out
yes,
a whole
yep,
like here's my outline for what I want my characters
Yeah.
to encounter.
yeah,
Yeah.
And then like, okay, well I'm gonna like if Stork and I sat down and planned a whole freak show game, and then I was like, okay, dude, so for the first 2 hours you play as one of the characters, and then halfway through the con game we'll switch and I'll play the other character. I just don't think I could.
See,
Knowing the plot, I don't.
Yeah.
Think I could know. I don't think I could shut that out of my brain.
I think that's why you got to be super vague about like when you guys work together. Like okay, hey, I'm going to advance it a little bit, and I'll tell you when I did it afterwards or something like that. And so that way there's still that little bit of surprise and stuff. But I think that, and I'd be interested to see what they take, is that when you first started the email, Dave, I thought it was more about two GMs, like the tactical game player and the storyteller.
Right.
Like two GMs at the same time, right? Which is a video we all love. But I think that might not necessarily we're trying to solve a problem here, because this guy just wanted to know what he wanted to do, but I think that's something to consider, that if you've got two GMs going at the same time, that maybe it's, okay, tonight's your night to tell the story, I'll handle all the battle stuff, assuming there is a battle, right? Or I'll handle all the NPC stuff while you talk about the high-level things.
Yeah, which is the kind of co-GMing that I understand.
Yes.
Like, where two people want to GM together, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I fully support it because it's so much easier.
Oh, it takes the stress off everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much
Yeah.
easier. And
Yeah.
you get a chance, like somebody has to go pee, everything happens.
That's when
Right.
I stopped initially. It wasn't because I was scared. It was because I had stuff lined up with people and it just flaked out. And then I was like, oh, okay.
I'm going to
Yeah,
stick
it's
with
just-
my Thieves World analogy, because now that I think
Yeah.
about it, it's really working for me. And here's the solution I'm coming up with. Let us try this and let us know if it works. Which is, as you GM, you're going to be choosing your own plot. Let's say, for example, I'm thief-centric, right? So it has to do with the Thieves Guild. So all my plots are involving the Thieves Guild, and the players are all about it. And then my little arc ends. I'm done with my little story. I get into the next one. He's like, well, I've got court intrigue planned. So now all of a sudden, all the game and everything that's involved is stuff that deals with the court. So he's fleshing out stuff that's happening with the court. I fleshed out stuff that happens with the Thieves Guild. The next GM might deal with stuff that happens with the traders.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff is happening independently, and it develops a meta plot eventually. But I think by playing each one of those things independent, you're not in danger of
Right.
metagaming yourself and boxing yourself into a corner.
Yes. So what I hear you describing is like a TV show where it's episodic, and it may not be just one or two games. It still
By
may be a
nature,
series.
It sounds like that's their episodic thing.
Yeah, it still may be a series of 5, 6, 7
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
games, but you know that from episode 1 to episode 10 or whatever on a TV show, you're gonna get a meta plot,
Yeah.
right? And so I think that's
I think the meta
the
plot
key.
develops regardless.
Yeah.
I think that's I don't know. That's sticking with that Thieves World thing. The more I think about it, the more I think, because that's also fair to the other people that are DMing, because it's like, well, I'm not going to put you in the worlds that you're setting up. I'm going to put you in my own world that I have control of, and that'll be surprise and new to you because you don't know what I have planned.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you got to think about that. You're like,
And doing something like that, I'm totally okay with
Yeah.
too. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of GMs running games in the same world, cool.
It's going to be the 3-hour
Why
cast.
does-
He was telling him to hurry up.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I
Like-
wanted Dave to
This
talk
is the featured topic one.
Yeah.
So we're featuring it. It's featured.
as a topic.
I don't believe I was talking to either one of you.
I don't give a shit.
This
There's-
was an A-B conversation,
yeah,
so
brother.
see your way out of it.
There's a bag here full of dicks.
All right,
I would
all
like you
right,
to eat
all
one. All right.
But yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I think we did cover
Yeah.
as much as we have to possibly.
Cyber everything. Please
Yeah.
let us
quite
know
blue
how
yet,
it goes.
But the horse did get beaten a bit.
Yeah, let us know how it goes. Let us know how it's
Blue
going.
hair.
I mean, like, I don't know how old these emails are, so he may have finished his first metaplot. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let us know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm curious.
That's actually something I want to reiterate. I would love to have people write in. You can do it on the forum too, but I would love to have you write in and say how either we. I feel like what is it? Click and Clack the Tappet Brothers. Like, let us know how much we've screwed up, or let us know how well we've done. Because I actually, so we shoot this stuff out into the void, and
Yeah.
with good intentions, but I want to know how well it goes. And now and again we get something back, but oftentimes we don't. So let
Yeah,
us know
that's
how this
true.
works.
Yeah.
I think it's
our
I think
advice goes into the
it will help
ether.
us too. It's like, well, we don't want to do that anymore. Yeah. Bad advice.
Yeah. Thank you for the email. Okay.
right.
The next one, I
email.
can read the next one. In defense of
mailbag.
GMPCs from Ben from Texas.
Thanks, Rav.
Dearest douche canoes. Are we done? What?
Dear Douchekanus.
it was a callback. It's okay.
The concept of the GMPC has been much maligned in past podcasts. However, I have had many positive experiences with GMC PCs. GMC PCs?
GM, see, Game Master.
I think it's a PC that drives a GMC.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and so I thought I might share. He is from Texas. I thought I might share some details to demonstrate how the concept might be properly executed.
Yeah, executed. You walk it up, you put the noose around it, and then you pull the trigger.
Wow. See, it's a hanging and a shooting.
And then you pick the head up from the basket and real quick
That's
look
right.
around.
Viva la
Hold one head up.
revolution!
The first game in which I served as Dungeon Master had been set up for rotating DMs. Again with the rotating DMs. Seems
It's
to be a thing.
thematic.
I see that
It is.
now. Everyone playing was quite busy with real-life nonsense. Yes, I agree. Nice paraphrasing. Nonsense is absolutely right. Real-life
That's true.
nonsense. So everyone rolled up a PC based on the idea that each session could be run by whichever player had time to prepare a session. I feel like all the advice I just gave the last one is working out in this one.
Yep.
Finally, it came time for me to run the game. I created a scenario in which the party of monster hunters would be recruited by a spy master of the city government to save the nearby village from an undead horror. Instead, the party devised a plot to overthrow the local government and stole a submarine. But that's a different story.
That sounds awesome.
Time passed, and I finally decided to run my own campaign in D&D 5e. The players made their characters. I ended up with no party tank. D&D does not work so well without a party tank. Allow me to introduce Purg, the GMPC. Purg is a halfling barbarian. As you might surmise, halflings do not make excellent barbarians. Purg was not well optimized to excel at his role, except to absorb damage instead of the party. Purg not so smart. Purg not so good at making plans. Whenever the party is interacting with other NPCs to figure out how to tackle a scenario, Purg is generally chasing butterflies or picking lint out of his navel. Once the party decide that Purg was the best character to lead a discussion with an NPC, only once, Purg is generally good for comic relief and taking hits. Otherwise, forget it. Purg has a PC character sheet and levels with the party and helps balance encounters, but he plays a secondary role in deciding how the party approaches the story. The party tends to treat him like a beloved pet. It has become a running gag for the players to ask Purg what Purg has been doing after a lengthy parlay with an NPC, usually playing with puppies or jumping in puddles. So, in summary, GMPCs are very useful if, and I'm glad you're qualifying us, the position of the GM might rotate during the campaign. Maybe.
You don't need it
That's
there.
not a soda.
I'm not sold on this yet, Ben.
No,
Tell
me
me.
either. Yeah.
Tell me.
Not
PC
either.
party composition does
Nope.
not work well
I'm
with game
waiting.
rules.
Nope, not sold on that one.
The party acquires a long-term companion who is intended by the GM to be equal to the party members in game mechanic terms.
See, that's called
yeah.
an NPC. All right, keep going.
To prevent GMPCs
Exactly.
from becoming
Don't agree with
detractors,
me.
I'm all busted.
Sorry, go ahead.
you guys gonna kiss and make up?
Later.
It's
No, I want to see it now.
There-
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'd watch
Don't make
that.
it. Don't.
To preempt,
There
Just don't hit the
almost-
camera.
you
There
can
was an
interrupt
aw-
everybody else, but I'm reading.
There was almost an awkward middle-aged kiss.
It was.
I am not
It was.
middle-aged
Okay,
yet.
Joe Crack. I don't know what's
God.
middle-aged.
I don't know.
When does it
I'm
start?
older, so it.
Yeah, it
well,
depends on when you die. You don't know when you're
That's
middle aged.
true, yeah, exactly.
It turns out I passed my middle age. Had no idea. I'm
Well,
like,
it just wasn't teens.
yes. Where was I? To prevent GMPCs from becoming detractors, 1, don't make your GMPC the focal point of the story. 2, avoid optimizing or min-maxing the character. 3, make sure your GMPC doesn't perform a role that diminishes the role of the PCs. That's a very good point. And find a way to prevent your GMPC from influencing the party's story decisions without cause. Yours Inductionist, Ben from
What
Texas.
what Ben has described as an NPC. That's not a
Hold
GM.
on, well, first of all, Ben, thank you for writing.
Thank you for writing. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Ben.
We're going to tear it
But-
apart now.
No, he brings up some
No.
very good
Oh,
points.
I think he
and I think
brings up great
salient
points.
and well
Yeah.
thought.
But we're going to rip it apart.
Were you?
Oh, he was done.
Oh, you're
Go
done.
ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's what
No.
he's described is not a GMPC as we typically define it here.
Yeah.
That's an NPC. That's
Yeah.
just a hireling at best.
That's Ueda.
I don't mind a GM introducing a character that becomes just a follower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Jib also mentioned in the chat, he was saying that's not a GMPC. Because it's not. The GMPC, the law of the GMPC is if the GM is playing the character to his interests.
Min maxes
Yes.
it. Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just min-max.
No,
it's if the GM decides to make his character the most important character in the group. Or
Or a hero.
Or
to-
a hero
to
or
make him a
equal
hero.
with the other PC.
Yeah.
yeah.
especially for God's sake, and I've seen this happen, suddenly there's an NPC that's run by the GM in the group talking to an NPC that the GM is also running
Yeah.
as part of the story.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
Or
cataclysmic.
No.
that can do things
Fail.
the other PCs can't possibly do.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, that
It's
too.
so great to watch the GM have a conversation with himself. You just get up and go pee, and he talks to himself, and they banter back and forth, and then
There's
Yeah.
videos for that.
I believe they
So-
call that
so-
activation.
Having,
Ooh, that's a good word.
That is a good word.
That's the nicest thing I'm going to say to you tonight.
but yeah, exactly. Like this is exactly what Jim put in the chat. A definition: a GMPC is when the GM plays a character whose personal story is more important to them than the
Yep.
stories of the player characters.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, we all agree with that.
I,
Also, Tomes has said that Nova's up late tonight because it's not a school night,
What?
and she said hi.
Hi, Nova.
Noah was in your game.
Nova's a superstar. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
I think it's important to know that we should probably perhaps parse this down a bit. We say GMPC thinking everybody knows what it is we meant by that term. I think you can be a GM and play a character that's in the group and not have it be a GMPC. It's kind of like saying grognard, and we just expect you to know what that word means. So perhaps we should define what we mean by GMPC, which is a specific thing, which is what Dave is trying to do.
I
Yeah,
still
well, we
think
just
when you're trying to round out a party with the missing, I don't know, class or
barbarian.
role,
Yeah.
or if you have to have somebody with your party because the PCs are not going to be able to function for a period of time that I don't know, like more than a game or so, that starts to be, I don't know. That might not be by definition a GMPC, but it's also like
Listen,
I might need an NPC to introduce me to
in-
an important person.
In
but
many ways,
That's
Gandalf
NPC.
was a GMPC. He never really helped the party. He just led them, and then he disappeared when he needed
But then
them
he
most,
went
and was
away.
gone for a really long
Right.
time. And then he came back ultra powerful, but he didn't really still do anything. He was just there to negotiate stuff
no,
for
he
them.
sent those badass eagles.
But see, that's to me, that's
At the very end.
That's-
Yeah, that's true.
that's an NPC.
Kinda.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
an NPC. Now a
Yeah.
GMPC, if Gandalf were a GNPC, he would have destroyed the Balrog.
That's true.
They
Yeah.
would have gone straight over the hill, and he would have pushed the little tiny guy, and then dropped the
dropped
ring
right in.
himself.
Yeah.
Or he would have taken the ring and killed the party.
That's it. Yeah.
Purg, who he says in here, is actually the perfect NPC to round out a party. They needed a barbarian. They got Purg. Purg doesn't make decisions.
Yeah.
Purg is off running in puddles when there are
Yeah.
decisions to be made. Every once in a while, he has to, introduce an NPC or whatever.
Yeah.
But the story isn't about Purg. It's not about Purg's awesome accomplishments, and it's not about Purg going out and doing great things.
Right.
He's there just to fill that one little role in the party.
Yeah, as you say, I think D&D actually has, or one of the versions has the actual rules for, was it a follower or
Yeah. First
and
edition.
that's kinda what-
Second.
Well,
Second.
you've got first all editions.
Second
except
never had it.
They've really
Well, second may have
minimized.
it.
They've really minimized hirelings in later versions.
hirelings,
But,
Yes.
that's the word.
but hirelings and henchmen were. I mean, if you started a first level game and you didn't have a horde of hirelings at your disposal, you were for sure going to die.
Who's going to carry your 10-foot pole?
Exactly.
You're not going to do it.
But
They were
even,
really Sherpas, is the way I
but
use it.
then in third and maybe fourth, and I don't know about fifth, they had NPC classes, so you could make actual like
Commoners and
commoners
stuff like that. Yeah.
and adepts. So if you needed
remember
like
that.
maybe someone to fill a little bit of the cleric role without being like, haha, I'm the cleric that's going to save everything. You could create an adept and
Which I think especially becomes a thing in small parties.
yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you're running a game and you've only got 2 players, especially if it's a game like Pathfinder or D&D, where things are very segregated to classes, very few fighters have healing as an ability. Like having an NPC that's friendly to the party, I don't think is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Healing
So-
potions.
Okay, well, so I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second because we're kind of done with that part. Yeah. Why is it a bad thing to have them not have a tank?
Thank
That's
you.
what
That's
I
what I was
that's
going
what
to
I
say.
was going to say too.
Yeah.
If your party does not need all these things, the reason there's a GM is so that the GM can tailor
Yeah.
the game to the things you have available. Every time I start a D&D game, I say, you guys play whatever you want. Don't worry about niche protection.
Right.
If
Yep.
you guys all wind up playing wizards. Guess what? I'll run a wizard
This
game.
isn't WoW. It's
Yeah,
not like you
yeah.
need an optimized party. You
No,
really
I
can actually.
totally
You could have an
agree.
entire party full of bards, which would actually be awesome.
I think so too.
No, a party of bards? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They could talk their way into any place. They're the
Especially
ultimate
in
spies, and they can
5e,
do
I love my bard.
anything. You could
Yeah.
have acrobats and musicians and
Yep.
actors, and I mean, it would be Mission Impossible. That's how I'd run a game of bards. Anyway, the point being, you don't. So they don't have a tank. That means you as a GM need to adapt the way the encounters that you're
And
necessarily
even
giving them.
as a player, if we all want to play bards or we play wizards and we play ranged people, like every once in a while, if you get your butt kicked because you're not built that way, then you figure out how to not
Yeah,
be in
yeah.
that position the next time.
You come back, you
Yeah.
run away from the encounter.
Yeah.
Go, oh shit, we're not gonna be able to do this without
Right.
a tank.
Yeah.
And then you figure out how to do it without the
You
tank.
get the higher ground.
Yeah.
And suddenly your
Or-
ranger goes out
Yeah.
and buys better armor, and perhaps
Yeah.
he's,
Or whatever,
he's less
yeah.
sneaky and
Or
much
you
more.
sneak,
yeah.
or you, yeah.
But so, and as a GM, if you know they don't have a tank, I don't want to say tailor your. Well, no, I am going to say tailor your encounters with that inevitability in mind. There are ways to make that happen because I mean, once Frodo and Sam left, there was no tank, and yet they managed to survive all the way into Mordor, right?
Yep.
It's not unnecessary. It's not, if you're thinking video game terms, if you're thinking of optimized parties, then yes. And if that's the game you're playing, where it's all kill as efficiently as possible, get the loot, move on, then yeah, you're going to need a tank. But to my mind, you need to change the way you. And I'll bet your story is going to be much more interesting. If you are suddenly, it's going to be much more intrigue.
Yes.
There's going to be much more FaceTime with NPCs.
And
there's going to be talking a way out of fights rather than just driving into them. I think you're going to find that game is going to be much more interesting than if you just had the standard healer, tank.
But it's
and
a combination
DPS.
of the GM doing that and the players making decisions based on the fact that they know
Yeah.
they don't have a character that can take a whole bunch of damage.
Yeah.
So if we're going to fight something, we need to figure out how to sneak around it or get to it from range. If we get up close,
And give
it's
your
gonna
players
kill us.
opportunities to talk their ways out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
right.
well,
Yeah.
and that applies
Party
to
full of bards.
like the common thing that I always hear is no one wants to play a cleric, so there's always like the NPC cleric coming along,
Yeah.
right?
There's the story about the people in Vegas who called the
hooker to
call
play-
girls to
Yeah.
have them play the cleric.
Cleric.
And they were like, "No, we don't play clerics."
Which makes me wonder
still amazing.
if I can actually make some money playing a cleric, but that's a side note,
Cleric
right?
for hire.
Moving to Vegas.
Yeah,
I'm
I like
professional
clerics.
I would totally start like a
A hooker service.
cam girl
cleric
site
for
for
hire.
RPG players. Like, hey, your group needs like playing online. Need a cleric?
Is it part of the One Ping network?
Of course it is.
One ping.
Yes.
They would
Now
all-
it is.
They would all be sort of disenfranchised Russian women. Anyway,
That's what most cam girls are. So
Yeah, yeah, but it doesn't have to be like it could be me. Like I'll just be there on the site. Like
You're the most adorable cam girl I've ever seen, Dave.
But there are healing
I
potions.
can make
Yeah,
bank.
but there are healing potions, and
Yeah.
there's other ways to go about it, right? Where you just
Yeah.
don't need a cleric all the damn time, and it makes it more important that you're like, oh shit, we need to get
Yeah.
to the temple.
and rangers
Yeah.
can heal,
Yeah.
and bards can heal, and paladins can heal.
To
Of
be
course, if you have a
fair,
paladin, you have a tank. So anyway,
to be fair, there's some people that maybe the GM running the game runs a module and they follow along the stuff in the module.
Yeah.
And they're still having fun with their friends. So I still
Yeah.
support the idea of having an NPC come along that helps out the party.
Of course.
Like-
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
that's the way things
No.
are going,
I would
That's
rather
okay
No, I'm
with
just
me.
going to
I would-
fundamentally
yeah,
disagree
me
with you
too.
guys. Nope,
If it-
nope, suck it.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'd rather get my ass whipped and roll another character than have an NPC with me for an entire adventure.
as much as Purg is good, and as much as you're doing a good job running him,
Yeah.
I think you may be doing yourself a disservice. I think I think this game would be really interesting if they didn't have a tank. I bet these guys would be making much more, and I bet this game would be radically different if they're having to talk
I
their way
would
into things
say
and out of
that
things.
it sounds like Ben, like that is the perfect.
Ben, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's perfect, and the guidelines, the do's
If you
and
have to
don'ts
play,
are 100%
if you have to play
awesome.
a PC that's carrying it, that's the
Yes.
way to do it. You are, yeah,
I'm just
that's
saying,
not my
as
point.
a player,
Did I just fuck up your cam?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Cool.
Bob's
I
still
hit the
there.
cord.
Damn cam whore, Dave.
But
Bob
there is
there.
there is like a 30-second delay. though,
So
Yeah.
Well, no,
here's
she sees it live.
oh yeah.
here's my question for the two of you.
Uh-oh.
Since you were in
Duh.
the
One cream.
the L5R game,
Yes.
right?
See.
Ueda
Yes.
became a great NPC for you guys that
Yes.
was kind of comic relief, but was also endearing and stuff like that. Would that have changed if he had come along with the party and you were with him 24/7, and Stu had to constantly play him and interact?
Stu has actually played kind of GMPCs before. In that, when we played the 4E game,
Yeah.
sometimes players didn't show up.
Yes.
So we would drag this person around until he would just ignore him again, or he goes to an inn, or whatever it was. So in a way, I'm sure Stu would have played him up to the point where he goes, Ueda loses interest and goes and passes out in the bar. Now what do you do, right? So I think he would have quickly written him out of the scene.
Yeah, but my point is
Yeah.
then Ueda becomes much less interesting. Because Ueda was interesting because when he was around, you interacted heavily with him and he had a very distinct personality, whereas the way that you're describing it, he just goes to an inn, he fades into the background, he becomes a less interesting character.
Oh, where are you going with this? I'm not
No,
sure.
I'm just saying that I'm
I'll tell
saying,
you what you want to hear if you let me know what you want.
No, it's not
No,
that.
I think I know what you want.
Go ahead.
What you're saying. If Ueda was with you guys 24/7 and he was one of the party that traveled together, would he have been less special?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
think so too.
no, because Stu
No?
did such a great job at coming up with that character and coming up with his backstory. Stu literally invented him on the spot, and I think Stu actually fell in love with him a bit too.
Yeah.
But Stu's also smart enough to know, I got enough on my plate. I'm not going to be joining the party too.
That was kind of me with Mouse,
Yeah.
where there was something about that character that resonated for not just me as the player, but my character who was super kind of cold and dead-ish, like we decided kind of Jessica Jones versus Rogers Luke Cage.
Nice.
But there was just something about
from the
this
waist
little
down.
character.
Jessica Jones was awesome. So
Yeah.
that actress.
Oh,
anyway,
that's my favorite of those shows.
she's so great.
So
But there was something
she's
that
talking.
resonated with me
Touch with him.
to the fact that I wanted to interact, but it wouldn't have been, to your point, I don't think as special, even though I think Jason set that character up where something resonated
And
with
what game
me.
Yeah.
is this in?
It was
It was our Desert of Despair D&D
Okay, all right.
5e game that we're hoping to pick up at some point. But
Yeah, I hope so.
think maybe to your point, if that character was available 24/7 for me to engage or interact with, it wouldn't have been as special.
Yeah, because she kept coming in and coming out.
Yeah.
Tim has a point.
Tim-
So
Yeah.
no, I just want to make sure I understand what you're getting at. So in The Hobbit, Gandalf, who we already brought up, who just disappears for
Right.
long sections of the book,
Yeah.
he was interesting because he disappeared for those sections and no one knew what he was doing. But if he was with the party that whole time, he was with the hobbits all that time, he wouldn't have been as interesting.
Yeah.
Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, because
Okay.
basically I don't know dwarf number 7
Yeah.
in The Hobbit, and he
Feely.
was there. Sure.
Feely, keely,
So,
something,
but I mean that's my
something.
point. It's like
Boing.
I don't
Yeah.
have that connection with them
Ignoring,
because
ignoring.
they
Bless
fell in the
you.
background,
Thank you.
Yeah.
right?
Well, perhaps we should make another definition.
Yeah.
There's a GMPC and there's a GMNPC.
GM and PC.
Aren't
NPC?
all
GM
NPCs
no, well, no.
GMs?
Let's call it a party NPC.
Okay.
Party
Yeah.
NPC.
Oh, party NPC. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
And there are
Good
certain
job.
NPCs. Sometimes there's only one. Sometimes there's a few that the party falls in love with and stuff.
Party
But there's still an NPC.
Yeah.
The GM is very careful to keep them out of the action and stuff. And yeah, maybe they might lead you to the dungeon entrance, and they're like, gotta go now. Or maybe they will take you into the dungeon and then fall to a Balrog or whatever it is. But eventually they leave you, and you're on your own.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important distinction because the term that we're using is there's even classic cases where GMPCs ride in over the horizon, kill the people that you were fighting, and
Oh, yeah.
ride off again. And you're like, who was that masked man? I mean, it's just awful. So there really is a strata that we're trying to define here.
Look for me at dawn of the fifth day.
Yes.
Yeah. And it probably does depend on the players at your table.
It
'Cause
totally
even
does.
at our table, some of us are like, yeah, that'd be totally cool, and some of us are like, I'd rather die in character
Yeah.
than
And
have to
you
rely on it.
rescue
not
my
because
ass.
it enrages me or anything, but it's just like, yeah, I know. I did the Dave.
Gina's mad.
And I think to sum up there, because we're running along, Ben,
Yeah,
I think
whatever.
you're running your GMPC brilliantly.
Oh, I do too.
I would love to have you just not, if you said, oh, you guys don't have a tank, I'll bet your story would be so different and be really interesting.
What if you kill Purg?
Could happen,
Dun,
but,
dun,
Oh,
but
they're
it's,
going to be so
chromatic
sad.
chord.
Yeah, they'd be
That
really
would be
sad, which would be
rad.
good
Right.
from a party standpoint. But now you're like, oh,
Could also be a good
we're-
plot point.
Yeah,
but
we're
here's
alone.
the interesting thing is that you as a GM are going to have to change the way you develop encounters,
Yeah.
and maybe your meta plot will be affected because, I don't know what your party's composed of, but
Yeah.
you can
A not
you
tank.
can still have effective battles without a tank.
Yep.
You can.
Yeah.
You just have to be very careful
Absolutely.
what you throw at them and how you manage that and how they deal with it.
Yeah.
And the decisions they
Yeah.
make. Yeah. Mhm.
If you have a bunch of rangers, you have a ranger and you have a druid. I mean, you do stuff like they wear the enemy down before you get into combat, and then the cleric who can have armor and a mace
Yeah.
can still thump
Oh,
them
yeah.
really hard. It can still happen. You just have to be. They have to be smarter, and you have to be careful.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Those are super awesome guidelines, though, and Purg actually sounds super fun.
I know. We should.
Yeah.
Everybody who's watching should take these to heart. If you have to
real,
do a
yeah.
GMPC, do it this way.
Or Tim, if you want an idea for an interesting PC,
Night
like because you haven't
Nova.
played it yet, you could try Purg.
Make Purg.
Yeah, you should.
Who's next?
I am
Yeah.
so happy
Rob, it's
you're
your turn
here.
to read.
Rob, read some
Hashtag Purg.
email.
Gosh, I'm so happy.
Hashtag Purg.
that-
This one is a monster one.
They're
You guys are probably
oh, yeah.
actually getting the impression that Rob and Tim hate each other, and they don't.
No, they're.
Sorry.
I said
Oh, no, everybody loves it.
romance. Romance.
Seriously.
Well, you
Love
can
it.
stop in the middle
So,
I
or
love
something.
it.
So yeah, this one's pretty massive. It is Canadian.
And the story's long.
yeah, hey,
Rob can do the second best Canadian accent in the room.
Who does the best?
Dave.
Oh,
Dave does.
This guy.
It's so modest. It's what I like.
No, it's all
It's
me.
his
No, well, hold on.
Legit.
Compared to my Canadian accent, Piers is by far the best.
Because Rob, well, yeah. There's plenty of Canadians that sound way more Canadian than I do, for sure. Because mine's a parody of it. But Rob, he's too angry in his soul to be a good Canadian.
That's true.
Because
He
Canadians
doesn't
are
apologize.
nice.
They apologize
Right.
for everything.
Yeah.
They run into trees
Sorry.
and go, "Oh, sorry,
Sorry.
sorry." But here's
Oh,
the thing, though.
That's what I say.
Here's
Sorry.
the thing. You guys are Doug and Bob McKenzie.
They're getting together.
I know.
I know. I want to go to
Really?
I
Toronto.
looked up plane tickets and I couldn't afford it. I was like,
So Forrest is in the chat room.
Hi, Forrest.
So she will
Forrest.
Forrest will
Forrest.
Forrest is legitimately
Forrest
Canadian.
I know he
will
is.
critique you. So
Oh.
Well, no,
all right,
because
there you
mine,
go, eh?
no, mine turns into a cholo about 3 sentences
It
in.
does.
does.
It does.
Yeah.
It slides
I'm
into
not-
it.
I'm not
Everything,
gonna-
everything becomes solo with you, even the way
This
you
is
wear a
silly.
hat.
Cholos don't wear their hats like this. They usually wear a hairnet.
Wow. Wow.
It's true.
All right, okay.
It's actually true. Yeah.
If they have a job.
Oh.
Oh.
And the gunfire comes in the room.
Yeah, right?
As soon as
Now
I'm
all those Cholo listeners are going to be super
I
pissed.
know.
Both of them.
That's okay because we're being taken on the left coast first anyway.
Yeah.
with
True.
Red Dawn.
That's true.
It's
We live in
continuing
LA.
outside.
Oh.
That's
just-
kind of why
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of an invasion like that.
Yeah.
You grew up in the hood, too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Red Dawn is never happening in LA.
in East LA.
No way.
No, yeah, because all
Because to get to my house, they have to get through
Oh,
all the
dudes.
terrible
Yeah.
parts of
Let's
the
do a Kickstarter and let's do Attack the Block, only East LA
East LA
version.
style. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Can you imagine?
Have you seen Attack
I'm
the Block?
gonna play the guy that loves
Big
Morrissey.
Fan, yeah. You're gonna play what?
I'm the guy that loves Morrissey. Sorry.
Carry on.
Yeah, you
All
should
right.
totally do that.
So, a tale of betrayal from James.
I swear
in
by
Ottawa.
my tattoo.
Uh,
Tale of betrayal of a James of
He's
Ottawa.
from
I swear
Ottawa,
by
eh?
my tattoo. Right?
No,
Come on.
I'm
right,
not- no,
right.
I'm not gonna
Anyone?
do it.
Just
Oh,
do it.
come
Anyone?
on,
no,
eh?
I don't
20
know.
leagues under the sea. Come on.
Come on,
right,
no.
right.
James from the capital of the Great White North here. You can
No.
do it.
No.
Come
Great,
on.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's pretty good. He might be better than you.
Yeah.
Anything's better than me.
Well, you could.
You can say that again.
Greetings, douche trekkers and star baggers.
Douche truckers
I don't
across
know.
the universe.
I think I'd rather be a star bagger.
Of course
Yeah.
you would.
Starbagger.
All right. James from the capital of the Great White North, Ottawa, Canada.
Hey.
Finally getting up in the
Hey.
nerve to email your glorious podcasters. I thought I would write in and give you guys a tale of betrayal that I experienced almost 20 years ago now, eh? The A's.
See?
gonna be
All right,
bad.
homeboy, eh?
Sliding out.
When I was in high school, a group of friends and myself traveled to Gen Con when it was in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, I
Hey.
think.
It's Algonquin for the good land.
We're not worthy.
Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated.
That's right. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yep.
All right. For those of you guys that aren't 40 years old,
Old.
watch Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aw.
It's Alice Cooper's best role.
I know. Yeah. Yes, it is. That's very true. is. It absolutely
Fair
is.
enough.
It's also Mike Myers' best role.
Mike
Oh,
Mike
yeah.
Myers.
Mike Myers. That's what I said.
Wait,
So
wait,
I
wait.
Married an Axe Murderer.
I don't know who
was
Mark
pretty
Myers
good.
is.
Oh, I thought he said Mike Myers.
Mike Myers.
Whatever.
He's from
Mike Marvis.
Ontario. Out for a rip, eh?
Say out for a
That's
rip.
it.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Dave.
Say out for a rip. Say out for
Mike
a
Myers
rip.
is Canadian, so carry
Yes,
on.
he is.
See how it all comes
When it was in
together.
Milwaukee in its early heyday and had a blast. We actually went 2 years in a row after
2 years. Sorry.
dramatically
Dave, you're
appropriate amount
here.
of
You're
years.
supposed to do that.
I know.
No.
He
You
set
gotta
it up.
save them for the right moment.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it
Otherwise, it just becomes a
dilutes
GMPC.
the product.
2 is a GMPC.
Don't
Thanks,
worry.
Rav.
My lawyer will serve you with papers in the morning.
Paternity.
No. For
Two
my,
papers?
for my, for my intellectual property of 2 days.
We actually went 2 years in a row after experiencing just how awesome a large convention like that could be. First, we went, and I was with a group of 6. And even though many of us had similar interests, Magic the Gathering, role-playing, and board games, we all ended up splitting off most days and doing different things. The first day I was there, I stumbled into a week-long LARP that a group of people I didn't know were signing people up to play.
Yeah, stumbling
SA?
is the best way to do a LARP.
Yeah. This group... Fuck you, Tim.
Only prestas, eh?
All right, I'm going to go real Canadian. This group had actually gotten permission to use several rooms to run this game, which they said would last the entire weekend.
That was feedback, by the way.
Yeah. I thought, what the hell? I'll sign up, and when I get bored, I'd stumble back and I'd entertain myself with this game. Needless to say, I didn't realize what I was getting into.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, this is when it turns into the
The game was based on Star Trek and took place on Deep Space Nine.
deep space.
Everyone
Wow.
that signed up was given a survey that allowed the GMs to gauge just how much you were committed and what you were looking to play and get out of the game. The weekend started, and before I knew it, I had gotten lost in the game and almost spent the entire weekend battling Borg and space aliens as my Klingon character tried to help the Federation defend the galaxy.
Cool.
The game was so epic that it actually paid James Doohan, who was there to talk on a panel, holy shit, to come in and play Scotty
Holy
in the
shit.
last few
Oh
minutes
my
Right?
god.
to close
In a-
out the
Jesus
game.
Christ,
Freaking
That's the best
LARP.
game ever.
So the game was so epic that they had actually paid James Doohan,
Yeah.
who was there to talk on a panel, to come
Jimmy
in and
Doohan.
play Scotty
Yeah.
in the last few minutes to close out the
Now
game.
this was
Holy
20
shit.
years ago because he
Still
had
badass.
Alzheimer's
Alive.
and
But
yeah.
even
Yeah.
so.
It's worse
He had
than that.
Alzheimer's
He's
and
dead,
just didn't-
Jim.
Yeah. Anyway,
Aww.
still cool.
They're kind of almost all dead.
Listen, that he's dead, Jim.
All right, you want to go, Tim? Do you know how to read?
You want to go, eh?
Oh, you want to go?
You want to go?
All right, go.
Plus that wasn't
Yeah,
his
pretend you
line.
know how to read and keep going.
Where'd you stop?
After.
After what? Oh,
After
After-
doing
Well played.
doing-
Well played.
who was
after
there?
that game was over,
Everybody
eh?
goes after Duke.
I
Over,
kept
eh?
in contact with the guys that ran the LARP. No, I'm not going to do that. To see if they were going to run another one the following year. I was so blown away by the game that I spent the entire year leading up to the next Gen Con recounting tales of the game to my friends that hadn't attended.
Been there, done that.
I must have done a good job because the following year they signed up to come with me to the con in hopes to have a chance to experience even a fraction of what I'd experienced the previous year. When I arrived at the con, I got my pass and made my way to where they said the sign up for this year's version of Star Trek was registering. Again, they had the same survey trying to get a feel for what people wanted to play.
It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
All I knew was this year I wanted to play something big. I asked for a key role, and with some discussion, I was given a Romulan diplomat.
I wonder how many people are playing this game.
I know.
I mean, if they
It's a
have
LARP,
enough,
right?
yeah, but
Probably
if they
a
have enough
lot.
money
Yeah,
to pay Scotty to
pay
come
Scotty,
in,
yeah, right.
that's legit.
that's pretty big.
My friends all signed up to be characters in my entourage, and we set out to cleverly try and manipulate everyone we met. As the story plot unfolded, we discovered that there was a council being formed of the different diplomatic factions to discuss and figure out a way to handle the Dominion and Changeling War that was underway in the Alpha Quadrant. My character had been given a secret task to make sure this treaty never happened. I had, in my opinion, done an amazing job over the ensuing weekend making sure this didn't happen. over the entire
Yep.
weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
entire.
because it was all
Over the
weekend.
entire weekend, making sure this didn't happen. But as the end of the weekend started to loom and wrap up, the Federation called for a diplomatic vote. Damn the Federation. Unfortunately, I discovered that many of the allies I had built had departed from the convention, and the vote was going to pass. I was outraged!
Bitch.
After all the work I had done, it was for nothing. I called my entourage and what little allies I had left. The Tholians, the Gorn, and a couple other races, and we took out to our ships.
Well, the Tholians have kick-ass ships too. The Tholian web with those little
Yeah.
lines, dun 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 dun, and they make that. Yeah, those guys were badass. Anyway,
Those
Yeah,
Cylons.
totally. The
Seriously?
Tholians.
the
That's a
Tholians,
classic.
Boom,
the Tholian web.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
And the Gorn, yeah.
Do you remember the Gorn?
For
Oh,
real?
totally. Oh my God,
That's
yeah.
that's when he was out at Vasquez Rocks making the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
lizard
and the
dude.
thing with the with
I
the
gotta
lizard
hit
dude.
you
Fuck
with
you,
my,
Tim.
with
So-
my
Fuck you,
emails.
Tim.
This
Probie.
is great because this is how Tim has conversations at con because he always pretends he has friends, and so
Yeah.
he gets the same tone of voice, like he knows how to be socially acceptable.
Like, oh, that's
No,
awesome.
Yeah.
That
That thing.
No,
Yeah.
that's my. I know nothing about Star Trek.
Oh, was it?
Sarcasm.
Son of a bitch. I'm sorry, Gina. You were saying something.
It's yeah. I'm gonna hit Tim.
Tim's
That's
a
what
fuck.
I'm saying.
That's what you're
I'm gonna
saying.
hit Tim with my emails.
But my feels. My best friend, who at the
And
time,
I'm one of those people that doesn't delete their shit on Gmail, so it's gonna hurt.
my best friend, who at the time was playing my second in command, said before we started anything, he needed some time to get us some extra crew to help in the battle that was about to happen. Knowing very well that I didn't have the know-how or the skills to fly a Romulan ship, I agreed, and he went off. He came back very quickly with a group of people I had never seen before, but who were surprisingly very happy to help us in our crusade. Before the GMs could react, we had moved all of our ships around Deep Space Nine and hailed the remaining diplomats in the station. The Tholians had created a space web around the station,
That's kind of what they do.
Yeah.
That's their signature move.
so we were inside, and the Federation ships that had moved off earlier in the afternoon to deal with another threat couldn't get to us. My plan was working, surely. They would have to cave to our demands and give in to everything we requested.
It's very Romulan, by the way. I gotta say.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Yeah.
The Federation ships tried to do what they could, but the web was working beautifully. After several minutes of back and forth between my character and the character playing Benjamin Sisko, it was clear that he wasn't going to give in. I had to do something drastic, something that would tip the scales in our favor. I was going to destroy the station.
What?
Ooh,
Nice.
big red button.
The
Yeah.
station had fired upon us earlier in the session and taken out our weapons, but
Oh.
who needed weapons when I had a ship that I could warp right through it, causing it to explode?
Oh man.
All
Yep.
right.
I was going to kill myself for the great glory of the Romulan Empire.
Also very Romulan. I'm digging this. Yeah, it's a good story.
Sisko said I was bluffing, and I warned him if he didn't give in to our demands, it would be the end for us all. Within the next few minutes, everything became a blur. I started a countdown. Sisko laughed, and I said I didn't have... I'm sorry. Sisko laughed and said I didn't have the balls. I turned to the crew and said what they did was for the glory of the Alpha Quadrant, and as I looked to the helmsman and said those final words, engage, and warp us through the station, I heard a set of words bellow out from behind me that to this day still makes me cringe. Remember, like I said, this was a story of betrayal? My best friend and second in command yelled out, I phaser him in the back!
Time out. Clearly not actual Star Trek fans because they would know that the Romulans use disruptors.
That's absolutely correct.
not phasers.
Because-
Well, hold on.
Oh, unless he was like a Federation agent
Hold
in
on.
disguise.
Keep reading, Tim.
It gets better? I don't have the email, damn it. I'm on the edge of my fucking seat.
Then I heard him say as I dropped to the floor, belay his orders and begin firing on the Tholian vessels. What I didn't know was those people he brought on board were all Federation officers in disguise. And for the entire weekend, when I was cleverly making plans against the treaty, he was going behind my back and undoing them as per the goal on his character sheet. So that, my friends, is my tale, and my question to you is, have you ever experienced an epic moment of betrayal in any of your games? Your friend, James Campbell, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. P.S. Take a drink.
That is epic, I gotta
Cheers.
say. And you know what? That's
Yeah.
actually, I think the beauty of a LARP is that kind of stuff can happen.
Yeah.
Because you really can, all you're doing is
Awesome.
such a condensed amount of time. And stuff is sort of hand waved and stuff. I've never had that happen in a role-playing game because there's so many other variables. Oh, we gotta pause, we gotta stop, we'll come back next week, and it's never played out that way. That is, because it's all in one night, it all becomes one big blur. That's really pretty cool.
See, I've been betrayed twice in a role-playing game.
Really?
Yeah.
And was it a surprise?
Both times, yes. The first time was high school. Dave was involved. Dave was one of the GMs. I think Steven was the other one. We had 20 people playing in this dude's backyard. We were playing Rips.
Oh God.
Right. It was a shit show. I mean, there were carnies.
Oh,
there
I
were
heard about
yeah.
this.
So, but
Oh,
basically, it ends up. I mean, we
Nothing good happened.
Yeah, there was nothing good happened. The mystery machine showed up, but we ended up fighting Thor. And I was in this epic battle with Thor, and Thor was about to go down, and there was another guy that was
What game
with
are you
us.
playing? What's this?
Riffs.
Riffs. All right,
Riffs.
right.
It
You
was,
said that.
yeah,
You
it
said
was
that.
insanity. And so
Everything in the kitchen sink.
yeah,
setting.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so basically, I'm about to take Thor out, you know, and Thor looks at the other guy, and he's like, you know, aren't you like, I will give you the world if you do it. And the guy looks, and he looks at his character sheet, and he says, well, I'm aberrant. And so he turns around and he just kills me.
Oh.
I was like, oh shit. Like, and so aberrant was the you're out for yourself, you're, you know, that
Yeah.
kind of character thing.
Yeah.
And this was the guy's first time playing. So he's like, well, I'm following the rules on my sheet, right?
Play into my disadvantage.
Yeah, exactly.
dude.
And so I was like, well played. I was a little surprised at that one.
So you underestimated the new guy.
Yes, I
You
absolutely
totally
did.
were like,
Well,
he doesn't know what he's
well,
not going to do this. Who does that?
The way we had played is that we were always helping each other, and so
Sure,
that idea
sure.
had never crossed my
Sure,
mind that someone
sure.
would do
Yeah.
that. And so when you bring new blood into the system,
Sure.
you get a different mixture going on. So I was impressed. I liked it. I thought it was a good move. The next time was a couple years later in D&D, and we were playing in a group of different people, and we were about to. There was some evil stuff going on with. We didn't like it with the church, and so we were having the final showdown. The whole group, final showdown with the archbishop at the time,
Don't shut that. Yeah.
and
He got those
and
sneaky.
basically what had happened was right as we're about to go through it, all the doors closed and everything. The archbishop he teleported out, so I don't remember all the details, but basically our cleric had turned over and basically told the archbishop we were coming because our cleric didn't agree with us fighting against the church.
And he surprised you?
Yes. It was a total surprise because we're like, what happened? And he's like, yeah, I sold you guys out.
So, see, I was going to say, I mean, I played the Betrayer. I played Trig.
Yeah.
But I telegraphed that, I think, through the entire game because he was a coward. He wasn't very good at anything. And everybody knew it was coming. But
Yeah.
I timed it well enough that I left them in a position where they couldn't stop me.
Yeah.
And that was different because I think everybody knew it's like, we got to keep an eye on him. We got to keep an eye on him. And at the end they're like, God damn it, he got away with it anyway. And that's what made them mad.
Yeah, that was
Which
a good
character
one.
was Trig?
But
Was that
Trig
the
was
Star Trek one?
no, this was Star Wars.
Or Star Wars, I meant. I
Right.
meant to say Star Wars,
And,
yeah.
and he was the Twi'lek. He was
Yeah,
because
the-
it was
the pilot,
Traveler. It was
right,
a Traveler,
yeah, yeah.
and I rolled up. He had no combat skills. A really ineffectual character, basically. And I'm like, well, I'm going to play him a Twi'lek coward, right? And he was. He was Don Knotts.
Yeah.
And at
Oh,
the end,
Andy.
they're in the firefight, right? And they're fighting, and he looks around and goes, "Fuck it, I'm out." And takes off and takes the ships and leaves them. But it's not that we were going to do that. I know it's like I know I've been telegraphing this the entire game, and it's not like it was a surprise. It's really rare to me that something like this, where you get shot in the back by somebody that is such a surprise.
Well, that's the thing is the guy
To
who
be
played
able to pull that off.
the guy that played the cleric. It wasn't something that was from day one. He started with the party, and he had a fundamental shift of, well, wait, they're really doing things that I don't agree with, and they're actually starting to actively fight against my church. Even though from our character's perspective, the church was absolutely doing wrong.
Sure.
He didn't buy into that.
But and you guys just completely ignored the
No.
fact that he was having an existential crisis.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't giving it up
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of the role playing may have been
in hindsight, you're like, oh yeah, maybe he did.
Yeah. So it was really. I was pissed.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, when you get betrayed like that, and as a note, if you do get betrayed by surprise, be cool, man.
Yeah.
Be cool.
that-
because
Yeah.
it makes for a great story, and the other players are like, oh.
No,
I
that
mean,
happened.
but it sucks.
Yeah,
It
no,
sucks.
it does.
You get attached to your character, yeah.
Yeah, no, we played Vampire Game, which probably if you don't get betrayed in Vampire, you're not
You're
playing
doing
the
it
game,
wrong.
Not
right?
playing the game
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but we had.
But you see that coming in Vampire because you're expecting it.
No, I didn't though. Not this one because this was
Yeah.
my. Yeah, I knew this character had their own agenda, but I had an aspiration on my sheet from day one that I wanted to be the Kingmaker because we opened with our prince being offed, and so I had played this long con the whole game for an entire year, and I knew who I was looking out for, and I knew who I had kind of had to work and use my lovely majesty on and all that stuff. But there was a character that was going after this kind of other thing the whole game, and then seriously halfway through our last session,
Right before you're about ready to unveil your machinations.
right before we went to Elysium, to be like,
Here he
this is our new prince. Totally offs my prince, the guy that I had maneuvered to put in
Wow.
position the whole time,
Nice.
and who I stopped from killing the PC.
Was it another PC or was it an NPC?
It was an NPC that I had maneuvered.
Seems a little dickish.
Well, no.
You
It was an
to do
NPC.
that,
The prince was the NPC.
Prince,
The PC
Prince
betrayed
wannabe.
her.
The PC is the one that betrayed me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just like you said. It was like everything I had worked for a year.
Yeah.
But it actually made where, like you said, be cool about it or think about it for 2 seconds because you're like totally flabbergasted. But then it makes the cool ending that you don't expect.
Yeah.
To
And the other players now have, because you got to think you're in service of the story as well. I mean,
Yep.
it sounds awful, but that's the way actors view it, is that I'm in service to the story.
100%.
You know, they show up and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, my character dies after the second page. Well, nice working with you
Yep.
all. But they show up and they do that thing and they make the best death scene ever. But that's kind of what you have to do, I think. Be cool,
Yeah.
man. You got outmaneuvered or you got surprised.
Yeah.
And it's not on you. It's just that's the way these games work sometimes.
Yeah.
It's cool that happens. Most of the time, you can see the betrayal, like with Trig. That was telegraphed all the way from the beginning. Just they took their eyes off me for a brief time, and I
Yeah.
fucked them over.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Those make awesome stories.
And they do, and those are the stories you talk about later.
Yep.
It's on the receiving end of being betrayed. To be fair, I didn't kill anybody, but
Yeah.
on the receiving end of being betrayed,
You just left us to die on the
it,
planet.
it can suck.
Almost
You guys
killed
had another
everybody.
Ship.
Well, yeah, but you weren't sure of that when you left.
I did. I made sure. I knew. I'd already talked to the GM, but I knew.
Oh.
You guys all had to cram into Darth Anon's ship, right?
And almost at the same time that you did that betrayal,
Yeah.
I almost suffered my betrayal.
With-
That's
yeah.
right.
Well-
because Stu was going to shoot
So
you.
well, hold on. So Dave was almost going to betray the party by flipping to the side, and then Stu was almost going to kill
betray
Dave
Dave.
and betray.
I mean,
Yeah,
right.
there was just like you created
Yeah.
the human
That's
centipede
awesome.
of betrayal.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Human centipede of
And
betrayal.
so I lead them, and all of a sudden their agenda changed. They're like, well, now we got to get Trig, but completely forgetting that Stu was going to shoot you in the back.
That's
Anyway.
awesome, though. That's
Yeah.
a fantastic story.
That was a good story.
Chat room had applause. That was good.
Yep. That is a great.
Yeah.
And
Love
again, I think that can
email.
only happen in that small, time compressed space. Because if you stop and think about it, you start putting pieces together. You go, wait a minute, I don't even know these guys. How did I? And it really has to happen over the course of that
Ooh.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. So
Huge email.
I got to share this email. I'll get us rolling.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's an awesome story. So thank you for sharing
Yeah.
your story of betrayal that will stay with you until the end.
Crazy ass story.
Who's next to read?
Yeah.
Oh, is it you? Sorry.
I'll start it,
Yeah.
but
You
I'm
can't
going to
finish it?
hand over and we can. It's like 3 pages long.
There may be
Dudes, I'm serious. The West Coast is being taken.
No, it's a dog.
Throwing itself at the
Yes.
studio.
there are. It looks like there are parts in here.
Yeah. There are crazy.
Oh, I'll
parts.
read it for you guys if you want.
a
Do
script.
you need something you need to do?
Let Gina do
That-
that.
I'll
yeah,
start
Gina
it.
hasn't read it yet yet.
But I'll
Read
hand
it.
off.
She didn't read
Okay.
it yet.
Too long.
Good reader.
Too long
I
of
was
a
speaking
story
Tim.
about gaming table discomfort. From
Oh, this is the
Kylie.
one I was interested in.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna hand off and I'm gonna hand off.
No,
Okay,
I
ready?
I'm interested to hear.
$5.
Gaming table discomfort. Which
These-
kind of discomfort is it?
Disclaimer.
You can hand
Oh.
off.
Writing this late, I can read more words than 5.
Yeah.
I'm good to read more than 5. Writing this late at night on sleeping pills. I attempted proofreading, but I honestly can't tell. I don't know why I'm doing that. Can't tell if this makes any sense. Long-time listener, second-ish time writer. The last time I wrote was in like season 4 or 5.
Wow.
I think I asked for Savage Worlds advice from Jib at some point too.
Were you on sleeping pills then too?
In the
Why would you do that? No,
yeah,
I'm kidding.
it was
I'm kidding.
in
Kidding,
the
Jib.
alternate plane of
Don't-
reality
Yeah, don't kill me from
of
Starbucks.
Savage Worlds being the best game.
We're gonna hear
That's
Yeah.
pop, 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 and then you're just done. We're like, oh
That's
shit.
what that sound is. Is Jim trying to break his way into the studio right now?
Starbucks fucking drive-by. Or you just-
Exactly.
For those,
Like,
those
the
who
door's
don't
gonna
know,
open.
geographically speaking, there's a Starbucks up the street, and Jim sits there and listens to us while we're.
Well, like, or the door to the studio is gonna open, and like a steamy hot cup of coffee is gonna hit you in the face.
My face, it burned
We're all
my
gonna
face.
be like,
It burns.
No one expected that betrayal.
A unicorn. It's a unicorn.
Not even. So I'm writing in with what I am hesitant to call a gaming horror story, and what I am not hesitant to call a question.
Questione.
I'm not sure if horror is the right way to describe it, as I really it's more of a gaming discomfort story.
That's a new classification. I'm liking that. Thumbs up from me.
It makes me uncomfortable.
The gaming discomfort story.
Anyway, here is my issue.
Gesundheit.
Someone made. Thank you.
I learned
Take
gaming
over.
on a reskin of the Victoriana system. I prefer Savage Worlds if I am GMing, mostly because I can handle basically anything and I use a homebrew setting. Other than that, I'm learning, struggling with GURPS, and I'm familiar with several others. I guess I could say I lean towards the hippie games. Another GM friend of mine invited me to play in his Star Wars game, which I, not getting to play, hardly ever jumped on eagerly. I've played and enjoyed FFG, which stands for, what is it? Fantasy
Fantasy
Flight
Flight
Games.
Games.
Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars. But
that's
this game,
the. I rolled 3 Cannes Film Festival
Yes.
awards and
yeah.
and a couple of explosions.
There's a
and
horde symbol in there.
I
and-
don't know
yeah.
what. Yeah, I'm a winner.
But this campaign was this campaign was run in Saga Edition.
Oh yeah, which we played.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like D20 rule.
In D20 system, and moving on, he clarifies it. In the D20 system, I don't know why, but I have an immediate dislike for 20-sided dice, and the systems they use, them screw, consistent 5% chance of crit fails.
Or always rolling 20s.
Awesome.
That's only a problem for you.
Yeah,
jerk
fuck
face.
you. Yeah.
Roll
Really?
out 20s?
Really?
I roll 20s.
Oh, only rolling 20s. Really?
Yeah.
Just,
Stopping mad 20s.
Don't play Risk with that fucker. Just saying.
I also roll 6s.
That's a 20-year rule for me.
Wow.
so our game starts with the rebel crew. I'll come in again.
Oh,
so our
Jesus.
game starts with our rebel crew flying over an imperial colonized planet. Our pilots miss 2 of 6 piloting checks and crash us into the planet, destroying all of our supplies.
Sounds like Trig.
We land in a desert with enough water and rations for 3 days.
Yeah, you're fine.
Side note, the
Dramatic.
GM described our ship.
dramatic.
We were flying in a way that made it seem to be about 10 feet wide, 100 feet long, and 100 feet tall. What the heck kind of stupid ship did they send us out with? The whole table asked. My character was an old Bothan sniper, like they are, seeking. It was the Borg cube, is what it was. It was really like a more Borg rectangle, I think.
Yeah.
A Bothan sniper seeking political asylum after killing a Bothan prince who was consorting with the Empire. Naturally, I take my rifle and climb our stupidly tall ship to get a better vantage point. I see what looks like a green area and mountains one direction and a small military complex on the other. How far away are the 2 areas? The complex is about a 2-day hike and the mountains are about 5 days away. I can see dang far, I guess. So we have to go to the complex? Why? We'll die of dehydration. Obviously, the plot is that way. Complex. So we decide to leave in the morning. During the night, we're attacked by panthers because we weren't moving towards the plot fast enough. Now I play a rebel officer, but not a commander. Our commander dies in the crash, so we have no leader. I decide to take charge, since I have seniority. The NPC medical officer has a problem with that and stands to take command when we try to leave them and the wounded ship. I shoot him in the leg, because disads.
Damn.
See?
Wow.
You'll only slow us down.
You shot him in the leg and
I'll
it said,
skim the
"Oh,
40-minute
that's awesome."
argument that ensued. Anyway, we reach the complex. We set up camp about 2 miles out, scout the perimeter. We find some obvious blind spots where we can approach the complex later. We wait for nightfall and lure a few stormtroopers into the ambush. Easy battle. This is where I start having an issue with the system itself. I want the stormtrooper chest piece and the gauntlets. You can't. Why? It doesn't work with your armor class. It wouldn't add anything to you. I'm wearing a cloth uniform. How? They got you. They have the high alert.
No, their alert will
We're a
always
mile
win.
away. It's pitch black. How did they hit and kill, by the way, our tank? They're good snipers. At this point, everyone almost unanimous.
Unilaterally.
Unilaterally.
Unanimously.
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 Let's
See?
start
Not so
sounding
easy, is
out.
it? Unanimously.
Unanimously.
Say, screw it, and the 7-hour session ended. 7 hours. I found out later that I was not the only pissed off person at the table. I was just more vocal. I was then invited to play another Savage Worlds game. I made a character I was very happy with, and then informed that we were switching to D&D 5e. Why? D20 flashbacks hit me, and I was at war, like a war vet. It's so much better. No, it isn't. You are wrong and new and dumb. Paraphrasing.
Oh, did you run this, Tim?
I did. Yeah.
But I
that's my game.
complied. We played, and it was fun. And I couldn't help but imagine how much better it could have been in the other system. So, I'm done storytelling, but could someone please play devil's advocate for me and just sell me the idea of a D20 system? Why would anyone prefer D20? I'm sure there is a good reason. What advantage is there to running in a D20 system of use a setting agnostic system or any other system? I didn't mean to ramble so long. Sorry about that. Keep it up. The show's really great. Most of the GMing has been learned through hearing how you handle situations at the table. Kaylee on the forum, Kylie on the forum, whatever it is. P.S. Drink.
Drink.
P.S.
Drink.
I want Dave to read me stories at night. Such a great narrator voice. Oh, you should have read this.
Me?
Aww.
Aw.
I don't think I have a
You gotta.
You got a good
No, you do the
voice.
deep sometimes.
Yeah, when you
that
do
I
your,
can't
when you
do.
do, when you were like to let me. I mean, your princely
Yeah.
voice. Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time you just sound like a
So
jerk.
sell them on D20. Although I don't think you're going to be able to because you already came out against it. But go ahead and.
Oh, I
and
like
make an argument,
D20.
'cause I'm going to go pee.
I like D20 a lot. I think that if I'm
We're gonna be here till 11:30.
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah,
looking- what?
You're right. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Turn the mics down.
I like the or actually listening to this, I like D20, but then again I like most systems. There's very
do
few
too.
systems that I haven't come across
Sometimes you
today.
just want to get your D20 on.
Yeah, like I mean Dave and I are notorious for running bad systems,
Yep.
and we look at them and they're dumb, but we still have fun with it, right? But
It's not necessarily. Whoa!
Oh, puberty.
How's that puberty going?
Yeah,
you sounded like me.
that was adorable. Tom's daughter Nova earlier
know.
said Rob looked like he was 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she wanted to know how she could get a spot
I'll
because she's
take
like,
it.
that boy's 12.
I should be in the game.
I'm 8.
I'll take
I
it.
can do it.
I'll take it.
No, what the fuck was I gonna say? I freaked
I
myself
don't know.
out.
I know you freaked out a
Captain
little bit.
Dipshit.
Because one the different
D20's
versions-
All right.
funky system.
Oh no, funky systems. I talked about stupid systems.
Oh, the games that we choose to play aren't necessarily that they're bad games. It's just that they're dated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
You know, Top Secret was a great game when it came out, but
Man, it's
but
crunchy.
it is not optimized to modern thinking.
No.
Yeah.
Rifts, the actual rules to run Rifts
Ah,
is
are
terrible.
amazing.
No,
I don't understand what you're talking about.
That's like they did the RuneQuest Kickstarter like last Christmas or something like that.
Yeah.
They re-released second edition of RuneQuest. I was like, oh my god, this is great! I grew up on that. It's awesome. I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
I read through it.
And you're like, sweet cheap.
I'm like, oh my god, how did I
Oh,
play
yeah.
this? There's so many
Oh.
rules. It's
Yeah.
so crunchy. It's
Yeah.
just
It's trash. But it's trash you love. But my
Yeah.
problem with this, in the way that Kaylee laid it out, is not a problem with the system.
I don't know. At the end, it looked like a KJ.
Kylie.
Kylie, thank you, Kylie. The way that Kylie laid it out, it's not a system problem. The GM may be a very nice person,
Yeah.
but if you approach me with the complex of I want the Stormtrooper chest piece and gauntlets,
Yeah.
I'm not going
that's-
to say you can't.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, okay, cool.
Yeah.
They're highly specialized pieces of
Yeah.
armor. You can kind of squeeze in a little bit. You can kind of do this. You're a little awkward
Yep.
about it.
Yep.
Oh,
Mechanically,
I was crunching paper, probably.
mechanically, I may give you like a +1, but
Yeah.
you're going to be negative on stealth.
Yeah.
Or there's some repercussion, right? That's not a D20 problem. You can have
yeah,
that problem in
yeah,
almost
yeah.
any system,
Yeah.
right? the D20 at the end of the day, it comes down, do you like, and I know Stu hates it, but do you like the flat probability curve?
Right.
Right? I like it. I don't have a problem with it because guess what? You've got a chance to roll anything on that damn dice and it doesn't matter. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about curves and anything else like that. It's too much behind the curtain. Just give me some dice, let me roll what I'm going to roll, and 9 times out of 10 I'll succeed, unlike Tim's parents.
Because you're good at D&D. Oh!
Bitch.
Well, and okay, so that does bring up an argument. I'm gonna involve Tim, which is if you've spent enough money on dice and really cool D20s, you want to play with them.
Hell yeah!
And
Yeah.
there is something intrinsically cool about that D20.
Yes!
There is. D20s are cool.
Duodecahedron.
Yeah.
As much as I like the D4 and then the rest of the plutonic, plate forms.
You mean the caltrop?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is still just a pyramid,
Yeah.
That D20 is pretty awesome.
There is nothing like rolling that D20, watching it bounce
Yeah.
around, because they do tend to roll.
Oh, yeah,
the ones
they
are kind of
absolutely
round,
do.
right? And then watching it land on that 20.
It's almost
Yeah.
like,
Or one.
I'm not being
Or
glib, it
one
really is.
if you're
It's
smart.
almost like a game of roulette. Everybody watches, and you
Oh,
watch
yeah.
that thing. It takes a while to settle.
Yeah, and it's one of the more fun dice to roll. But again, that's all. That has nothing to do with any of the system stuff that
No,
they're
it's just a
complaining
randomizer.
about.
Like anything, it's a
just
randomizer.
it's a randomizer. You could have the same thing. Like this very the things that they're talking about in this email could have happened regardless of system.
Yep.
It
Oh,
seemed to me
definitely.
just GM may be a nice guy. It seemed like GM may have
Yeah.
been having a bad day. GM may have been in the wrong mindset. GM may have been very narrowed and focused.
That's what I'm wondering, if there was stuff that was going to happen because it was just going to happen.
Yeah.
Because they're routed a certain
Yeah.
direction because they only had certain rations.
Yeah.
And they got spotted and they're like,
Well,
what
but the GM
Yeah.
did straight up murder ball the
Yeah.
Wookiee with
The
no
Chewbacca, the
Charbacca.
Charbacca.
The Charbacca. Well, he was after he got shot by the
He
sniper.
was.
It
Charred
was crispy
indeed.
Charbacca.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't.
Charbacca.
That's always been one of my favorite things I think I've ever seen online is that like somebody made a fake classic Kenner action figure blister pack for like Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru.
Yes,
there's
it's
a skeleton?
the burnt skeleton.
burnt skeleton.
Yeah,
Oh,
those
that's
are yeah.
awesome.
It's like, oh hot damn, if that was real, I would buy it in a heartbeat.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
I've come to the conclusion that regardless of whatever system I'm playing in, I'm determined to have fun. And yeah, sometimes I push the system a bit, but
Yeah.
the fun of a game system doesn't come down to the randomizer for me.
Yeah.
It could be a 2d6.
Yeah.
It could be a card flip. It could be a d20. It could be percentile. Now, I understand, the frustration of leveling with percentile dice, and I understand the flat percentage curve with a d20. But you know what? All dice have their curves. Even 2d6 have a flat. I mean, it really comes down to the fact is how much fun are you going to be able to have playing within those parameters, and that's your trip, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
You should be able to have fun regardless of what you're doing, and sometimes you can push those parameters. Which is something I've been thinking about, which is one of the things about Apocalypse World that kind of bothers me is it's so open-ended. I can almost do anything. I kind of like to have a rule set that I can then rebel against or push.
You want your
or
box.
change. I want like don't cross this line or here's a parameters and I want to play within that.
Yeah.
Well, Vampire, for instance, you want to bite somebody, it tells you exactly
Well,
how to bite somebody.
if-
Apocalypse World, you're like,
How do you feel about biting it? Yeah,
well, no, but it's not. It's not. No. That's not what I'm saying. It's, can I bite someone? Well, sure, you can bite someone. Can I run over and grab them and I rolled a 12. Can I run over and grab them and turn them upside down and bite them on their ankle? Well, sure, you can do that. But there's no specific rule that says that. It's because you just get to do
Right.
that. Am I right?
Yeah.
And in many ways, I want the
But you want
no, you didn't,
cold
and I want
shot, ankle,
But yeah, you want
sorta. I
Like,
sorta kind of want
defense, resist.
but I also kind of want to be surprised. I'm like, oh shit, I fucked up. Now
No, you
now
still
I've
can
got to go.
fuck
Like
up.
now what do I do? Now
You
what do I
can
do?
still stork it. You
yeah.
can
No,
100% still stork
I
it.
know. I get that, but part of the
if you
thing
roll
is
less than 6, right?
Yeah, 6 or less.
6 or less.
Yeah.
But like I said, I can play any game with a randomizer. It's not the randomizer is not the deal breaker for me. But I like the. You said box, but it's
You like having at least.
You like
You want the
rules.
outline.
You want
Maybe
more
you want 40
mechanics.
acres, but
Yeah.
you still like there to be a little barbed wire fence so your cow doesn't wander off into the neighbor's
okay,
yard.
so here's the thing. If I'm painting a painting, I'm still working with paints.
Thanks,
right?
Gunsmoke.
Right, and if I'm and I can paint all kinds of different paintings. But if you say to me, I want a painting of myself, do a portrait, that's a whole different kind of painting than just tell me whatever you want. Whatever you paint will be great. That's not what I mean. I'm like, I really want to do a portrait of you, but if you just, I don't know, just here's a box with a smiley face, and here you go.
You're not talking about like something, and I'm not trying to be insulting, but you're not talking about something unique. There's a lot of people who prefer structure in their RPG rule
That's
systems.
what I was going to say.
And
I think you're looking
that's
for
totally
more.
fine.
I think in a way I do. I think in a way because I like to be surprised by my failures or successes, and I think when it's too open-ended, it's almost like I just then dictate what my success is going to be. Yeah, I get it. There's still a randomizer. It's not a blanket statement, or it is a blanket
It
statement.
is a blanket statement.
But
It's erroneous, but it's a blanket statement.
You're wrong. You're totally wrong.
You can't.
erroneous.
No, but
Is this written by a lawyer?
I think that you are talking
Call me
about more
crazy.
like what Tim is talking about, that you want more mechanical
Structure.
tonnage with you want there to be ways that like more structure, more mechanics.
Consequences?
No, but that comes out of the
Yeah.
structure.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Right. Yeah. So while you're saying consequences, that's the overlay, right? Your foundation is going to be the mechanical structure, like Gina's talking about, right? You want whereas the apocalypse world you brought up, it's very nebulous. In the 7 to 9, you succeed, but something goes wrong. Like you want the
Tell me what
want
wrong.
the if I'm climbing, I fucking fall and I take this much damage and I know
Like
this is going to happen.
GURPS is, you know.
Yeah.
You get punished for
If I fail the stealth roll, I'm getting shot by the sniper and I'm going to die.
Yeah.
You know.
Before story games and narrative games, before that was a term that was thrown around in this hobby, one of the bigger debates was always rules light games versus rules heavy, or, and I don't want to say this on this podcast, but I'm saying it anyway, crunchy games.
Yes.
And you just tend to the more rules heavy or crunchy side of things because you want that structure in the game.
Which is funny because you
there's nothing
usually
wrong with
ask
that.
about the same rule even after you've been playing the game for 20 sessions.
Well, many times it's for the podcast,
I know,
but yes.
I
know. And
give
you
you
give me
shit.
crap about it, but then when you listen to it, you're like, what's going on? Where's Stork to explain it?
No,
you were going to bring up something from the chat room?
No,
Yeah.
they're talking a very good point. The focus of the
They're saying
constraint
constraints.
fuels design brilliance for us.
All right.
And I get that, like having a rule set that pins you into something, it does make a difference to your creative mind. Like you're like, okay, well if this is the thing that we all agree on, and I have a very similar experience. I have some friends that have played like a play-by-email role-playing game for years.
The vampire one? Or?
No, this is a whole different thing. And they talked about it and I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And then they sent me some information about it and I was like, F no, I am out. I cannot deal with this. Like, I just say shit and it's true. Like, no, give me some rule set that is a constraint to what I can do, and I'm on board.
I need laws of gravity. I'm saying, I need the physics actually still needs to work.
But the thing is, that's not a problem. That's just your preference. You tend to like those games.
Absolutely.
No, and that's it. Yes, I'm not. I wasn't asking. I'm not.
Don't give him permission to like what he likes.
Don't be my apologist.
Don't patronize me and mansplain.
Yes, I am.
Hey,
that's what this is.
Hey. Where does a mansplainer get his water from?
Actually.
A well, actually, yeah.
I think there is probably for not necessarily you, but people who prefer that too, there is sometimes derived satisfaction from being able to exploit those things. So that if you feel like you have
I figured out a way to make what I want to have
constraints,
happen
yes.
through this lens.
Yeah.
I think
It's awesome.
Where if it's so open-ended, it doesn't feel maybe for some folks like it's as much
I
it's
could
as satisfying.
If it's too open ended, I'm like, I'm just gonna make a magic staircase and ascend to the top of the chapel. And I rolled a 12. Okay, yeah, you do that.
Yeah.
I think Casey and Tappy
Oh, yeah.
are very much that type.
Yeah.
They want that structure there so they can figure out
How to break
how to
it.
break it,
How to win
and
it.
how to win it, and how to
Yeah.
make
Or-
things happen in the game.
Or
That
how to tweak it exactly right so
yeah.
that I can do everything I
Yeah.
want.
We're going far afield off the the D20
We totally
thing.
are.
which
No,
is-
but that's interesting.
But it's
It is
part
an
of that
interesting topic,
conversation.
but I think with D20, what a lot of people hate about it is that it is very structured and but not enough. It's not structured enough. You got whole THACO. You've got extrapolated armor classes. You've got classes that can how come I can't use a shield?
Yeah.
How come I can't use a sword because you're a cleric? I mean, all of that stuff that's in a
See, but that's not D20 though.
No,
that's
I guess.
Star Wars, or that's D&D, or that's class.
Yeah,
It's not the inherent randomizer. To your point, right?
Yes.
So I'm
it
going
is
to take.
inherent in those systems, though.
it's inherent in those settings.
It's inherent. He's right. It's inherent in those settings.
I'm trying to think of a setting where it doesn't say, okay, I can use martial weapon, simple weapon. Like, what's a D20 that is more? You can wear
Deadlands?
armor. You can't
no,
wear
Deadlands.
armor.
What's the
Combat casting versus-
a burp basic role playing?
Burps.
I can't think of any
Yeah.
off the top of my head, but there's tons of them.
There are okay.
Especially that came out during the the
OGL.
D20
The
glut.
Renaissance?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I think basic role playing is basically a D20 game system.
No,
and it's sort of
BRP is a percentile. That's the Chaosium system.
then it's not be a basic role. What's in the other one? What's the other? There's another one that's a D20. It's basically an open-ended D20 set. Anyway,
I don't know.
so
you
I'm
don't
sure
know
the
that.
chat room will jump in.
No, never mind. That's roll. That's
We'll look at it.
Nobody has yet. So
Yeah, I
But
know. I
but
was
but
waiting
it
for them to
take
be
the
all-
example of the Deserts of Despair game that we just finished, and
Yep.
so this is a good example for Kylie to kind of go back and listen. Is that
I think it's KJ Lay.
Yeah, because I think at
KJ
the
Lay,
end it
I
looked
don't
like
know,
a
dude.
K, and initially it looked like
It's like
a
Kylie when we
I.
did with the
Maybe it's
original name.
It's
but
pronounced
anyway.
like a Spanish
It might have been E.
J, and it's
Sorry.
Kylie?
Yeah, apologies.
Haile.
I
Hola,
think it is
chicas.
KJ, but my the thingy was kind of light on the J, so it's KJ Lee. KJ Lee. KJ.
So,
Lee.
Bub, what you can do is go
Bubsy.
back into Desert of Despair and listen to how Jason at Probably Fine on the or at It's Probably Okay on Twitter,
Yeah.
how he does it. Because what he did is if we wanted to do something cool, or if we wanted to do something, he would talk it out. He would explain his reasoning. He would explain his rationale, and we would be able to adjust. And there was an open conversation of, well, there are constraints
Yep.
being put on you in this situation. Here are the constraints. Now I can see a situation where XYZ would happen. And he was very open to that and very open to the idea. And there was a conversation that happened between what we were trying to accomplish and what the structure of the rules dictated. And again, that's setting rules. That's not necessarily, those. But it was super helpful, and it was super nice because that allowed us to be part of the conversation when it came to making rules, because we were, to Stork's point, kind of pushing on some of those rules a little bit for what we wanted to do with our characters, or even in that moment for combat or for whatever it was. And I
Right. So
think
for
that's a good
example, instead of just saying you can't pick up the stormtrooper armor, why
Yeah.
not? Because that's just not the way it works.
yeah, that's
that's-
Right.
Because it's the Stormtrooper
Trooper.
armor of
Yeah.
Thor.
Yeah. Or
that
or,
would be now.
or-
See, if it was made out of
mechanically it
Mjolnir,
won't change your armor class. I mean,
Mjolnir.
because Jason basically sat there and described to you like what, but he put it in game terms rather
Yes.
than, well, because it's not going to change your AC much. So why would you do that? No.
yeah, exactly.
But you know what? Even if it doesn't, I just want to wear Stormtrooper armor because it looks
I know.
cool. It looks.
Well,
Yeah.
and
And that's
so
what
I want to have a
would've-
Stormtrooper chest piece because that looks badass.
And that's what I would have said.
Here's the other thing, though, is that the GM's not completely in the wrong here.
No.
because he, she, they, whoever wrote the email says, why won't it give me some kind of bonus? So they were looking for a mechanical
Well,
advantage.
first of all, it's a stormtrooper armor. Have you ever? And it's made by the worst contractors on the planet.
Yeah.
And
Be
stormtroopers
glad
are
you don't
not.
get a negative.
That's
Right. You
right.
put that thing up, but that's I would have been my thing, which is you really want to wear stormtrooper armor, the crappiest armor in the galaxy? All right, dude, go for it.
It's actually Stormtrooper armor of laser attraction.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. But my thing would have been like, oh, okay, cool. You're able to put it on, so you from afar you'll look like a stormtrooper, so you kind of blend in. But you're not going to get, there's no bonus because it doesn't fit you, or something like that, right? But they were looking just for the mechanics of it, and I'm like, well, let's take a step back and what can we do for the story,
Right, and that's what
as
Jason
opposed
did,
to the
right?
mechanics?
Yeah.
And I think that there's ways to play around within that. And again, within that structure, you don't have to be completely limited by the fact that, well, it's not going to change your armor class any, so no. You can play around for the story's sake. Say, if you want to wear Stormtrooper armor, go for it.
Yeah.
And you can do a quick look and go, all right, it changes your armor class by 1. That's it, but by 1 less. But if that's what you want to do, go for it.
Yeah.
Or you can say, well, technically you can't wear that armor, but it's broken. It's got a big blazer blast in it. Yeah, go ahead. It just looks awesome.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm going to let you keep your same armor class. You're just wearing this.
Yeah.
It's not going to affect the game, and it makes your player feel awesome. You're walking around wearing blazer blasted Stormtrooper armor. You haven't broken your game. You haven't broken the rules. You've just let him put on this thing so he can keep going. And I think that's the point that I think we're all trying to make, which is, regardless of the randomizer, regardless of the system, there's ways to make this stuff work without you betraying the system, the game, or the randomizer.
Yeah. Yeah. Solid.
Solved. Next case.
If
I'm
Tim's
Vince
having
Stork.
fun, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's the way that works.
Yeah, if Tim's having
No.
fun, you're doing it wrong.
I don't think that's right.
That's
the
it, we're done.
RPG
That's not
slogan.
right.
I don't
We're
think
done.
that's. I don't think
That's-
that's right. no.
We are send healing stuff towards Mr.
Yeah.
Stu.
Master Stewart.
Yes.
Yep.
Get
Because,
better, dude.
Direct your salt
Moat
mineral
is supposed
crystals
to be
Sunday.
done with
Sunday.
its hiatus.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
Sunday,
Big teaser. It's coming back.
June 4th,
Sans.
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock.
It's all right, man.
In how many
Scully for
days,
president.
Tim? See you, Dave. How many
Oh, it's
days?
in 2 days.
2 days.
And I don't believe
Oh,
that
that
Scully's
was
not going
weak.
to come back. I don't believe it. I think it's
Yeah.
a big setup.
Hold on, wait.
not gonna
I'm
wait.
not buying it.
Gina, reset it.
Yeah. How many days?
2 days.
Hey, when you and Kazay are together,
At
is it
5.
2 days?
It is.
Yeah.
It is, oddly enough.
One
Can we
last,
multiply ourselves up?
Oh,
last
yeah.
shout out. Sir Guido made these for us.
Show your cool
Oh, yeah.
things.
Thank you, dude. Thank you,
Let me-
man.
I-
You're
I-
so crafty and awesome.
I
Thank
owe-
This
you.
is the
I
right
owe-
way, right?
All right.
camera.
Okay, all right. And
I owe Sir
A
Guido
little
a little
higher.
bit.
Little higher.
Just a little higher. Just a little higher.
Yeah.
So he's got, and then
Almost
I've got
there.
the back, and then right.
You got
now
it.
you show your.
I owe Sir Guido a bit of an apology.
Oh, and here's the inside.
Oh, dude, that's cool.
Nice.
And as you said,
He did
it
all
should
the
have
binding
should
and
have all
stuff
been
himself.
one.
Yeah, he
That's
does.
awesome.
He
Yeah.
does it all the time.
He does all
Right.
this great stuff.
And they
I
have
know.
little
He's a
freaking
crafty
nameplates
bastard.
on them.
He's
and-
crafty. He's just
Thank you,
tight.
man.
But Sir Guido, I owe you an apology. Sir Guido sent me these to give to everyone as part of my Christmas gift. But this is the first time I've been up here since
Yeah.
then. I haven't.
Real life.
Tim's
Yeah.
a slacker, but not this time.
Real life, I have not been able to get up here to give them to
For
anyone.
forever.
So I gave out a couple of them at the con over the weekend, and then I brought the rest up here as soon
Full
as I
on
could get
binding,
up
man.
here.
It's pretty awesome.
But they are
Yeah,
really
that's
rad,
crazy.
and next time
They're
I'll bring
beautiful.
my Christmas gift.
It's too good for me to actually
Shut
do anything with. Although mine's got a stain on it already. Did I do that? I probably did.
Is it a 1?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with it because I'm
stained
not
on the
going to
one
write
side.
in it. I'm going to. I
Is
don't.
it
I
too
know what you
pretty?
did. It's supposed to be for keeping notes and stuff. I'm going to keep notes.
You know
That's
what I'm
cute.
gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write down all the games I play.
There you
in
go.
Oh,
that's a
and
good
your
idea.
character-
And, like, what your
a
character
little tiny
was.
character
Just a
bio.
little,
Yeah.
like a 1 paragraph on every game I play.
Oh,
That's
until I fill it
super
up.
cool.
Damn fine idea.
That's a very good idea.
Speaking of the Drisman stuff, did you ever share your portrait on the forum?
I don't know.
No,
I don't know if I did.
you did not.
SB
You
Lloyd's
should do
waiting.
that.
Oh, and you should probably
Well,
share
he
your
knows.
Christmas gift
Okay.
too. The whole progression
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
forum.
No,
That
I
was
don't wanna
that
do
was pretty
that.
cool.
Because other people might get it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's-
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You could probably maybe just share the first thing you got, or maybe like part of it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, yeah. So Moat on Sunday, masks on Monday, 8 o'clock. So
I think
masks will be
I
back.
think they're skipping the. It's every other weekend
Every other
for
weeks.
the prime time.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
that's
no
not this
prime
week.
time this Wednesday, but hopefully the Wednesday after.
And Kimmy, if you're watching, do we do all right? Do we look good?
She hasn't been in the chat.
Okay.
I saw Happy Jacks live in there.
So
Oh, that was Gina. Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
on.
And that's
this
it.
one.
We're done.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Dave,
Bye.
Stork,
Yeah.
Rob,
Tim,
Good night.
Gina,
Gina.
Gina, good job.
Gina.
everyone.
Gina.
Bye,
Are we
everybody.
musicking?
Bye, Dr. Nick.
Michigan to Australia and maybe East Timor. Be a